Hello and welcome to Cutting Through the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike. Hello. Today we're going back to the movie. It's a film specials and we are doing V for Vendetta, one of my favourite films. It's my pick. Quite relevant to what I've been talking about recently as well.
Excuse me.
So yeah, it's we are. Oh, Gaz, you want to say that we're going to do? Well, we're not talking about the comic book, although we will be mentioning Alan Moore.
Yes, just because I am a comic book nerd myself, so I know what it's like. We're not talking about the comic book today. I read it once, nearly 20 years ago. I don't know if you two haven't read it.
I've read it when I was a teenager as well, a few times.
But there you go. So there's no point in us trying to half remember things, and we are going to talk about Alan Moore a bit because it's Alan fucking Moore.
He is a mad wizard.
He's a legend, and he's fairly local to us. But yeah, I just wanted to point out at the start that we're not going to talk about the comic book, and so if we miss things that were adapted for the movie that didn't come from the book, don't give a shit about it, please, because we're talking about the movie.
Yeah.
And it's a good movie. So
8.1 on IMDb.
I'd agree with that.
And I would probably argue the same. So, but first we do weird news, and this will take anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes or so. We discuss some weird shit we found on the net, have a bit of a laugh, and then I get too drunk and need a slash. And we go on to the main thrust of the article.
And I'll just take a moment to say, on a serious note, we were supposed to have our first podcasting crossover bonanza today with our good friend Chris Jones from 5x5 Movie Reviews podcast, but he's had some bad news and he won't hear this. This won't come out for a couple of weeks, and he's one of our biggest supporters, our most vocal supporter. So when you listen to this in the future, Chris, just to let you know, we're thinking of you, bud. And I don't want to say thoughts and prayers because we don't pray, but we are thinking of you, dude.
Absolutely, and we'll raise a can.
And check his podcast out because he's an incredibly knowledgeable guy and a really funny guy and just an all-round awesome dude. Never met anyone. We got a lot of friends in common.
Yep.
I've never met anyone who doesn't like Chris or who got a bad word to say about him because he's just a fucking nice, genuine dude. So, thinking of you, man.
Absolutely.
Now let's make him laugh with some funnies.
Right, so let's start the weird news. Because it's Easter weekend, we're recording this. I thought this was appropriate.
Actual Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday.
Yeah. So
we've all risen.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, I'm a little bit. When I first heard that Jesus, zombie Jesus, that was quite funny about 6 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus Christ! Everyone today on Facebook with I'm so rebellious with my zombie Jesus post.
Yeah.
I'll cock off.
Yeah,
and eat your fucking egg.
My favourite one was basically just pointing out that Jesus just gave up his weekend for us rather than anything else. Let's not forget another guy that died and rose from the dead. Optimus Prime.
He certainly fucking did. So we should all be eating chocolate Energon cubes.
Yeah, or chocolate Decepticons.
Yeah. Do you know what? There's actually quite a few parallels between Jesus and Optimus Prime.
I'd imagine there are. He died for our sins, definitely.
Yeah, and there was. I remember because I had a poster when I was at uni, which had the original. It was a poster made up of the original box artwork that they came in the 80s, and they had a bio with them with their power rating, and everyone had a quote. Optimus Prime's fucking quote, which was on the box of this 80s toy and on the poster, his fucking catchphrase: "Freedom is the right of all sentient beings." Pretty fucking heavy for a kid's toy.
Very Jesus-like.
It's very Jesus-like, isn't it? And in the movie, till all are one.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. But so this article.
Oh yeah.
It misspelled ACOB sign proclaims Chris is risen.
Can I ask what ACOB is?
I have no idea. We'll find out when we scroll down the article. I've forgotten.
You had.
It's the ACOB Parish Church. It must be at the town. And they were presented with a sign reading, "Chris is risen," after a mix-up of the printers.
I blame everyone involved in this story.
Yeah.
I blame the person who went to the printer with the note written down. I blame the fucking printer for knowing this was for a church and not questioning it.
It was the printer, no!
Chris is risen!
Yeah!
I love this. The pastor at the Baptist church is actually called Chris. And he's got to get up for a sunrise service at 6:30 a.m. on Easter Sunday.
Maybe that was the joke.
His predecessor didn't manage to get up for the service last year.
And there you go. So maybe that's why the printer had a bit of fun at the poking fun at the vicar.
I would be so pissed off if this came back. Chris is risen. Well, this reminds me, actually, I know it was quite funny. A new employee at work who's supposed to be the saviour. Anyway.
Really? That's yeah.
The saviour? Is that his job title?
Yeah, fucking might as well be. This is how my little mum and pop fucking company works, how backwards we are when you work for a tiny...
Does anyone you work with listen to this podcast?
I hope
Did
not.
he turn up today, did he?
I hope he got killed on Friday.
He had his interview on Friday, disappeared for a few days and turned up today. I'm suspicious.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was moonlighting as a vicar.
It directly relates to Chris's risen because fucking golden balls at work. My boss drinks with this guy in a pub, and this guy used to be a fucking music teacher at college. A music teacher, and now he's in the fucking hardware sales business. Oh yeah, amazing. So, golden balls, one of his fucking ideas, his promotions. He's gonna get sales up, and
You've got David Beckham there as well now.
Yeah.
David Beckham and Jesus Christ at the payroll.
Wow.
It's going places, that business, I think.
Well, he did a leaflet for Christmas and he put Happy Christmas, but
Without the T.
Yeah. Christmas.
Yeah, he sounds like a twat.
Christmas. And I found great joy in this. In fact, I'm so childish, I was writing Happy Christmas on as many boxes as I could find on the shelves of the warehouse in blue marker pen as a reminder to his mediocrity. Fuck that guy. Anyway.
He needs to read your fucking manifesto.
He needs to fuck off. He needs to go and learn he needs some basic sales training before we give him the top fucking salesman job. I've had my eye on that. Anyway.
How long ago did you eye on it?
The green eye of envy on it.
Maybe that's the motive, that he just got the job you wanted.
No. Fuck him. He's useless. And he's really, really short, and short men creep me the fuck out.
Oh man, you'd be no good watching Game of Thrones.
Ugh. No, I wouldn't watch Game of Thrones. It's not on the list. People tell me TV shows, you've got to watch this. I'm like, yeah, okay, except Game of Thrones is not on the fucking list. And I love how I keep seeing articles that relate, like, how how much like the Bible Game of Thrones is and stuff like that.
There's certainly that an underlying theme of a reborn prince, if that makes any sense, without giving too much away for the next season.
Oh, it's like Game of Thrones. No, it's not. It's like the Bible.
Well, it's like a lot of religions before Christianity. I mean, Horus rose from the dead, the Egyptian guy, Mithras rose from the dead. I think that was a Persian guy. There's been quite a few anyway. That's just a couple off the top of my head. So
anyway, I think the salesman from work works for this fucking printer.
Maybe
Chris is risen.
Maybe you should have got noticed by the BBC.
Should I give his full name and address?
No.
So you want the next one?
Mm-hmm. It's in the Derby Telegraph. Well-known...
reputable newspaper.
Oh, Mike, they're from Derby.
Oh.
You don't like people from Derby, do you? Mike's a Nottingham Forest fan.
Bunch of sheep shaggers.
Sorry to any listeners we have in Derby. Anyway, independent witnesses report a silent ghost plane which turned the sky dark.
Oh, I've seen this.
Yeah.
What, a ghost plane?
No, I've seen the articles.
On one of your many visits to Derby.
I'll be in Derby. I will actually be in Derby on Tuesday for work.
If anyone wants an autograph, do
I will keep my eyes open.
Separate reports of a mysterious ghost plane have emerged in Derbyshire, which witnesses have seen in a dark, silent shape sweep across the sky.
It was a fucking cloud.
No, because Mark O'Brien thinks he saw a quiet, low-flying plane fly above him after picking his daughter up from his swimming lesson in Ripley.
Well, there is a fucking airport not far away, the East Midlands Airport. Oh, I like the artist's impression.
Well, apparently it's an old World War II plane they're seeing.
Oh, fuck off.
These are actually a British phenomenon. I've actually read a bit about this, that we have this ghost plane thing. And yeah,
It's not old plane enthusiasts then.
It's not old plane enthusiasts seeing what they want to see after spending hours looking at pictures of old planes.
It's literally not a ghost plane. It's literally an old fighter that people are taking out on a Sunday.
Was it a...
Well, the picture
fully
there...
equipped and armed.
Well,
Throwing down.
well, Mike, I can inform you that there are no flying Spitfires in the UK, based in the UK, and there are certainly no flying Avro Lancasters
I watched a
based in the
documentary
UK.
this morning where they were flying Spitfires.
There you go.
Yeah, but there's
in
none
the UK.
based in the UK anymore. They're all based abroad and come over for the events.
Well, it could be the Dutch.
I saw fucking ObiWan Kenobi flying a fucking... Well, he wasn't flying it.
His brother was flying it, and isn't his nickname Obi2?
I don't know. But
I seem to recall reading that article.
It was quite a good
Yeah.
documentary. It was on today. His brother is in the RAF.
Yeah.
I was laughing at it. He's like, here's my brother, who was an RAF pilot and is now a civilian. He's a trainer, a teacher. He teaches people to fly who are in the RAF. And it's like, yeah, and I was in fucking Star Wars. Like, unlucky, bro. Like, I know he might have had a more fulfilling career, maybe, but he certainly didn't earn the money Ewan was earning.
No.
Bless him.
No.
Anyway, it was quite good. It was about...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that his brother's, like, you know, they have the flight name, Maverick Goose. I'm pretty sure he's Obi2.
That'd be good. But there was one good bit in the doc this morning that was about... It's about the history of the RAF, and
100 years old today, isn't it?
there you go. That explains the documentary. But basically, somebody's reading a diary of one of the first planes that actually had weapons, and was talking about how he first-hand saw what he'd done, the results of his firing, saw that he'd shot a couple of pilots, but then landed and actually saw with his own eyes the results of his mission, the results of shooting this plane down and the bodies and the skulls and all this, and he was quite affected by it. And then Ewan's brother was saying, well, I certainly never in my career then landed the plane to investigate my fucking handiwork. You were very removed from what you're doing, whereas back then they weren't. And you probably know something about this. It made me want to understand mechanics. Like, those guns, sequential guns that fire in between the propeller, fuck me, that's some precision engineering, isn't it? You don't get that fucking wrong.
It was an interrupter gear. It had a name, but I can't remember the guy who invented it off the top of my head. And I think he was a Frenchman. But the Germans got the idea through first.
Oh.
Well...
Because they were probably all selling each other arms, to be fair. I mean...
I thought it was really impressive.
But yes, it's an immense piece of... You're firing machine guns through a moving propeller, and the machine guns will not hit your blades.
That is amazing,
isn't it? It's not like you're timing it like a video game. 2, 3, 2, 3. No, you just fucking pull that trigger and it is not going to hit your propeller blades. Yeah. It's awesome. But back to the ghost plane. That looks to me, in the artist's description... You're aware of cloaking technology?
Yeah, the Klingons have it.
Well, not even in Star Trek. In like the real world of where it's basically cameras filming what's behind you and projecting that in front of you. So we're looking at a sort of translucent picture of a plane. Is that a plane that's cloaking or coming out of its cloaking? Because it would just be projecting what's behind it on the front. And I know that sort of technology is in development. There is an airport around there. Is this some sort of tech experiment?
What did they do with the Fortis plane?
I've got an idea. I think it's some out of touch aliens.
Ooh.
Right, think about it. They think, we better put ourselves in disguise mode. Was last time we were on Earth? They had this, yeah. They want to go any further than that, and they just project themselves as a Lancaster bomber, and everyone's like, fuck me, what's that doing? And then they realise their mistake later on. Yeah. I think it's an honest mistake by some aliens. So we haven't been here for a while.
Who fucking... Was this witnessed by more than one person?
3 people apparently, yeah. You scroll down a bit please, Mike. And,
we all know how reliable eyewitness testimony
That's very true, but they were all at the same time, in the same area, distant from each other. Who knows?
Oh, Lindsay Taylor of Barnsley claims to have seen 2 ghost planes at the same time as Mr. O'Brien, only this time near the village of Hope in the Derbyshire Peak District.
Yeah, so... Ghost planes on the loose in the UK. Demons on the loose in the UK. Demons loose about this house.
There was a ghost train in Ghostbusters 2.
We've gone over that. It's one of the few parts of that film. It still scares the shit out of me, to be fair.
So why not a ghost plane? I'll tell you why. Because there's no such fucking thing as ghosts.
Alien cloaking device gone wrong.
And how does ghost, like... ghostly, like, mechanical things. Like, what? Like, so what is this? The spirit of a dead plane? Like, the gears.
The crew caught in that final...
That's the crew, but how do you explain the mechanical thing that surrounds them?
Well,
so each one of those bolts and nuts and gears and
Ghost
rivets
bolts.
all have spirits that can then be passed on into the... fuck off. Just fuck off.
Not a fan of that one, then.
That's my professional journalistic opinion is...
It could be a tear in the time and space continuum.
Could be. Says the science officer.
Hang on.
Could be a wormhole.
Hang on.
Yeah.
You were Mr. Cynical over the really dodgy death of the People's Princess.
No, I'm just playing
Lady
devil's
Di.
advocate now. Just so...
And now you believe in ghost planes.
No, Mike just offered me a scientific explanation, didn't he? Just
No,
said
he
it could
didn't.
be a rip of the space-time continuum. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah, you know.
Happens in Derby.
Yeah, that's not just like something that happens on Red Dwarf. Boys from the Dwarf.
Boys in the door.
No, yeah, I'd love to think. But another thing I'll add to this is, I may have mentioned this before, but I do a delivery in Birmingham to an area called Poolway, which is so close to Birmingham Airport. The first time I went there and looked up and saw a plane coming into land, it was one of those giant Emirates.
The big,
the
long
Arsenal
distance
sponsor.
things. Yeah, I know the one.
I looked up and saw, and I am telling you, my genuine first thought was that 9/11 was happening again. Like, I thought that was plane is way too low. Like, oh fuck, this is bad. Then just realised that's what it's like living there.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, God knows what the house prices are like. But anyway, so you see a plane low, like there's a lot of fucking noise. There's it's kind of a weird thing seeing them that low, because they look wrong going that low and that slowly. Like, that shouldn't be up there.
Yeah, that shouldn't be.
It doesn't make any sense.
That shouldn't be kind of really struggling to land. Because
No.
they do. They always feel to me like they're going that slow. They look like they're struggling to go that slow to slow down enough to actually touch down.
So I just think if there was... So I know I suggested earlier maybe it's some sort of plane being tested. I doubt there'd be so much noise. Why am I taking this seriously?
I don't know. Next article.
Yeah, please. It was fun, but no.
Yeah, no ghost planes for you.
No. Or ghosts.
No. I thought this made me proud to be British. Because a man in Britain has contracted super gonorrhea that cannot be caused with usual antibiotics.
Super gonorrhea.
Super gonorrhea. It can't be cured with usual antibiotics.
I love that they didn't. It's like it doesn't have a different name. They just put super in front of gonorrhea.
Yeah, well,
it's like gonorrhea but worse. So it's like super gonorrhea.
All the little molecules of gonorrhea have got capes.
No, it is gonorrhea. It's just got a tiny mutation that just means that it is immune to antibiotics.
Oh,
still not good.
Yeah, this is the trouble with overuse of antibiotics.
Yes.
You see,
everyone
we get
develops an immunity.
antibiotic-resistant bacteria.
But I haven't taken any for a decade, so
you'll be alright.
When I do need them, they're going to work like... I might even get high.
I've had gonorrhea for a decade, I took an antibiotic.
My cock hasn't dropped off yet. I can still get it up, so why go? Why put myself through the embarrassment?
Yeah.
I mean, there's...
Well, that's the boils.
There's quite a few girls that I should probably telephone, morally speaking, because it can it make them barren?
I've no idea.
Yeah, it's quite dangerous for them apparently, but I'm alright.
You're just giving them the gift of surprise.
Hey! Some of these girls, I wouldn't be the only candidate, I'm sure. Moving on. So, how did he contract it? Where did he get it from?
Let's read down and find out. Does it say? That's the question. He had a regular partner. He picked up the disease after a sexual encounter with a woman in Southeast Asia.
Oh dear God.
Holiday sex.
He is married as well with a family.
But that was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
got super gonorrhea, love, get yourself checked.
Yeah, which can't be treated.
Which can't be treated.
So you're going to die of it.
Well, usual antibiotics, isn't it? It says gonorrhea is passed on through unprotected sexual contact. Is usually treated with a combination of
Good luck.
As good luck and a decision not to go to the doctors. And hoping it just gets better on its own.
I was saying good luck at pronouncing that fucking word.
I thought you were commenting on your own sort of...
That's how I get through gonorrhea.
Anzithromycin and ceftriaxone
It's not a Russian
antibiotics.
chemical.
But in this case, the drugs...
and ceftriaxone.
Yeah, but in this case, the drugs failed.
The drugs don't hurt. My cock still hurts.
Yeah.
So
I quite admire this plucky chap, to be fair.
super gonorrhea. Wow.
Does it say at the end if we he's being treated with a form? It won't know that until mid-April.
Wow.
Oh look, see,
it's serious, man.
I did know something. It says gonorrhea left untreated can lead to complications including infertility and pelvic inflammatory disease. That don't sound good.
And pregnant women can pass on the disease to their babies, so let's hope the
cause
chicky band wasn't pregnant.
It can cause a burning sensation when urinating.
That's what that is.
Increased discharge, which may be yellow or green, and bleeding in women between periods.
Wow. Super gonorrhea. So the lesson I'm getting from this is, what country did he go to?
He went to Southeast Asia. We don't know which one he went to.
So
wear a condom, unless you're Catholic.
I don't know. Super gonorrhea could probably burn through the rubber.
Is that like the alien acid?
Yeah.
Is that what you discharge?
It is when you got this kind of gonorrhea.
It'll burn through metal.
You should see all the pot marks from my jizz that are left over there on his face.
Oh!
You wouldn't recognise her. She looks like Freddy Krueger.
Oh man! I hope she doesn't listen to this.
She doesn't. She's gorgeous. Love you, babe. She's not listening. She doesn't love me that much. She has to listen to me go on at home. She doesn't want to hear what I say when I'm not there. It's funny that I'm finding it. We're getting strangers to listen to us on the internet, you know. But it's quite hard to get people who already know me to listen to me for 2 hours.
I say to someone at work who I know is into this stuff, oh yeah, I do a podcast on that. It's funny, just give it a chance, you know. Yeah, you ask them like a week, did you listen to it? No. Forget it then.
Maybe it's because we're such insufferable pricks in real life.
Yeah, there is that.
Well,
no on management, I'm even more of an insufferable prick.
God.
I've just got no friends.
Literally, we are the only people Mike sees from wherever. Even his family have disowned him. He sits here playing Championship Manager on his own and masturbating sadly.
Hey, there are worse ways to spend your life. You could work in an office.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? You'd be alone, surrounded by people. That's even worse.
I
can't stand
hell is other people. Who said that? Some philosopher.
I don't know, some lonely bastard.
Some bloke with a turtleneck and a private beret, no doubt.
Some nihilistic philosopher.
Well, to quote the dwarf, John Paul Sartre or somebody like that said, "Hell is being locked forever in a room with your friends."
That's what I meant.
Yeah, but all his mates were French.
Yeah.
Are there any sales jobs going at your place, Ben? I had my eye on one at ours with some little cunt.
There's plenty
can't spell Christmas!
There's plenty of sales reps, but the problem is they have such a high turnover. I don't think you really want the job, mate. You don't hit your target for like a couple of months, boom, gone. See you later.
That's why you lie.
Well,
okay.
if you're willing to put on a suit and drive a company Renault, then it's up to you.
Company Renault?
Yeah.
Right now I've got a company Transit, so...
Sold your soul for a company Renault.
Yeah, and we all know that transit vans are soon going to be banned or renamed or recalled, all of them, because of the offence it will cause to potential transgender people. Your van offends me.
If anything, they should welcome it. They should all drive them.
They should welcome it.
They just call it the trans van and I'm done with it.
Welcome it as I drive over their skull.
Welcome to the trans van.
Yeah, you could fit a trans van, put some carpet up the walls all around it, have some kind of trans love paradise in the
I'll
back.
paint it half
Yeah.
pink.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
What do they want to do?
On the spot, doctor performs transgender surgery in the back, down the
I
motorway.
just slam your cock in the back door and drive off.
Just someone driving around, the van door opens, this cock just flies at the windscreen. Jesus.
A bleeding cock landing on your windscreen. And then it gets stuck on the wiper. And then it gets stuck on the wiper blades. It's just smearing itself.
It's
The
raining.
foreskin gets caught in the wiper blades. Just keeps going backwards and forwards.
It's family, the kids in the back.
Raining cocks. What's that, Daddy? Don't look! He's trying to reach out of the window and still drive to grab at this severed member. Oh dear.
Blood and flesh smeared all over the windscreen. Oh.
Welcome to the trans van.
Well, that's a business idea for my clock at the house. Go on then, this is, what's this one then? Next one.
I'll chop off cocks anyway, might as well get paid for it.
Why are you cutting off penises, Mike?
Hey, everyone needs a hobby.
What's that jar under the sink?
Well, actually, as this is apparently the most rapey town in the country that we live in, you might be quite a good service to go around chopping off cocks. Not just any, you make sure they are rapey people.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine Mike as some kind of vigilante penis severer.
Don't shit on his dream.
The paedophile general.
We need him in this town.
Yeah.
Christ.
What was that?
Monkey dust.
Monkey dust, yeah.
If you don't know what we're on about, Google. Just Google Telford.
YouTube, well, Google Telford and then
By the
Google
power vested in me by some man I met down the pub.
that says that all your type are at it. Yeah, it's worrying.
Well, we're not young girls, so it's not that worrying for us.
No, to be fair, we've moved past the age where paedophiles are found as attractive.
You have a young
Some
daughter
could say
now,
we've
though.
moved past the age that anyone finds us attractive.
Speak for yourself.
Well, you know, I've got one. So, come on then, what's this story?
Ghostbuster for aliens investigates UFOs on the paranormal highway.
That doesn't make any sense. A Ghostbuster for aliens?
And now he's on the paranormal highway.
Alien Buster, basically.
Yeah, so that's lazy headline writing.
Well,
Headline writing? Ah, fuck.
He looks like fucking Jeremy Renner in the Avengers. He looks like
The
Hawkeye.
shittest character.
I like Hawkeye, he's alright. He's the plucky underdog, isn't he? He's got a bow and arrow, that's it.
He has no place on that fucking
He doesn't,
team.
he knows that. He knows it.
when people think they have seen UFOs, Chuck Zukowski takes their calls.
Good old Chuck.
I'm Ghostbuster for aliens. If a local rancher hears about a possible cow mutilation, they'll contact me. Zukowski told ABC News.
Sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Zukowski, I'm sorry, dear, but I'm going to have to fundamentally disagree with there. I'm the Ghostbuster for aliens. Ghostbusters turn up to paranormal events with their ghost-catching equipment. They then capture the ghost and then deposit that ghost to a containment unit, which is a bit like the inside of hell, but in a metal box, a nuclear containment unit. You, sir, turn up at places where people say they have seen a ghost, an alien, and do precisely what?
Anyway, he turns up for dead cows.
He examines bizarre animal mutilations and UFO sightings in an effort to record evidence of alien activity.
You're not busting shit, is my point. You're not busting nothing. Busting ain't making you feel good.
No, it's not. He's just got a
Oh, look.
briefcase.
He looks like one of them people that patrol the border in their own time in America. You know what I mean? They've got their own. Look, he's bought his own security
I
outfit.
think they're fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's kitted out like a. You know,
He's got a utility vest.
Yeah,
he's got a chest
got a
ring on.
walkie-talkie or something. There.
Who's he speaking to? He's the only bloke there.
Winston, we got one!
Why isn't the farmer with him? Why would he need a walkie-talkie? Who is he talking to? He's turning up on his own. The farmer's like, oh, there's the cow.
Well, he might have some back at base.
Why is he wearing those fucking UFC gloves? You've got to fist fight a fucking alien.
Shouldn't he be wearing rubber gloves as like a forensic thing?
Yeah, what's in the briefcase?
You're claiming to be like CSI for aliens, mate. You turn up in fingerless gloves. Totalitarian evidence. You're an amateur, sir.
He's a Chuck Norris of ufologists.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, but we're not allowed to talk. We've been banned from the ufologist
You
community.
know, that bloke was not happy.
So, Zukowski believes these mutilations are caused when UFOs or unidentified flying objects.
No!
Thanks, abcnews.com for clearing that up for me.
Yeah, I always wondered what that meant, you know?
I thought it stood for other fucked orifices. But I don't know. Yeah, where was it?
In this scenario, technically, yeah, cow mutilation.
So he thinks UFOs lift the cows, take their blood and return them to land. He acknowledged that many of his suburban neighbours think he is crazy, but he said he now embraces the nickname, quote, UFO Nut, on the custom license plate of his investigation truck and on his website, ufonut.com. Now, in American parlance and slang, to nut is to ejaculate. So, I don't want to see no UFO nut onto the corpse of a mutilated cow. I think you nut, sir. I think you, Mr. UFO Nut, are nutting into the wounds of these cows. That's my quote. No, I used the word quote wrong.
In all fairness,
that's my take.
In all fairness, he is married, Mr. Zukowski, but according to that picture just down the screen, he's got a giant alien doll in his house.
Yeah, Hitler was married. Do you know what I mean? It don't prove much. He found one. Look at
That's
him with
like
his tactical vest.
He has got a
Are they shotgun shells?
Yeah,
For fuck's sake.
Well, it's hard to say whether they're shotgun shells
That's
or
a
not.
satellite phone.
He does have a sat phone.
What the
He's wearing a tactical vest, and yeah.
And carries a gun.
Is he?
That's what it says whenever he investigates what he believes is an activity along the 37th degree parallel.
Oh,
Hang
only along
on.
that what parallel is it? 37th, I'll bring me gun.
Sorry guys, I've just worked out what this is. You know how everybody says that they accuse David Icke of when he says interdimensional reptilians, he actually means Jewish people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When this guy says UFOs and aliens, he means Mexicans. He's out there with his gun and his sat phone and his tactical vest.
Yeah.
Looking for, quote, UFOs, like, it's a goddamn wetback! Kadoosh, kadoosh, kadoosh! He's out hunting
He's looking
Mexicans.
for illegal aliens.
Yeah, quote. Oh.
I'm an alien.
Oh, that's when we spit me beer.
Oh man, the UFO nut. He's crazy for it. He just can't stop shooting illegal Mexicans. He loves it. He's got a number plate.
But in 30 years, he hasn't found a single one, so it ain't working.
Because he shot them all. He shot them all dead. I don't know. Either way, he's nuts, isn't he? I mean, fair play to these people. And how does he fund this?
Himself, he says.
Where did he must have made his money early on in life from something
He's a
else.
freelance microchip engineer.
Oh, fucking hell. That's like an actual
Yeah.
fucking qualified, serious job, isn't it? That, like,
it's pretty good.
okay. Well, I mean, fair enough. The mutilated corpse things, I would like to do an episode on that.
Cow
Maybe.
mutilation.
Mutilated cattle, because that is a weird, conspiracy, weird thing. That's weird.
Mm.
Do I think it's aliens? I don't know, but it is weird.
It's a chupacabra.
Because they're mutilated in weird ways sometimes, aren't they? Like their eyeballs and stuff, things like that. Tongues missing.
Anus is cord.
Ooh.
Genuinely, yeah, cord anuses.
Wow. That's our support act.
Right fucking perverts, these aliens, aren't they?
They are.
Obsessed with asses. I mean...
That's the time I was probed.
Excuse me?
Well, when I woke up on the floor after all that missing time. A daily abduction.
I thought we cleared this up. That's just being horrendously drunk, Ben.
Just because it was the night of the Christmas party.
And you're just trying to justify a gay experience.
No! I just had a really sore arse the following day. And
I'm not going
well,
to look at it any differently. I'm not a homophobe. I'm sure Mike isn't either.
My trousers were around my ankles. I've been deposited back in the front room.
The guy put them back. I mean, who has sex and then leaves their, like, just trousers off? No, you got dressed after the anal sex.
No.
And made your way home.
Alien abduction.
Nah.
Anal abduction.
Well, whoever it was, whatever it was,
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the common courtesy to give me a fucking reach around, so it doesn't matter.
How do you know if you were unconscious?
Well,
Aha!
there's no mess.
It was gay!
There's no mess.
No, it's fine. But,
Might have crusted already by morning.
Well, no, so woke
You
up
might
at
have
5
been so
o'clock.
drunk you
I
couldn't.
don't even eat for 4 hours.
You were so drunk you couldn't ejaculate.
No, that doesn't happen.
Oh, it does to me. There is definitely a ratio between being able to have sex and how much alcohol I've drunk and having pointless sex because it is never going to end. I have no feeling in my penis. I shouldn't be awake. Usually when drugs are involved. So, what do you think?
I think he's chasing a
About
dream.
my dick. No, sorry.
I think you're chasing a dream.
I think
It'll fall off to the gonorrhea, won't it?
Well, probably, eventually. I think this guy's misguided.
I think he's chasing a dream.
And I think calling yourself the Ghostbuster of the aliens is a little bit fucking presumptuous. They actually did stuff. They had a logo at least.
And they bloody made a lot of money out of it.
Yeah, they lost it, you know, but
They got it back.
they got it back in the end. If it's up to us, we got to take control.
Ready for the next one? Church hires JK Rowling to rewrite the Bible.
Wow. That'll be more interesting. I'll get the kids into it, I'm sure.
It is hoped the author, most famous for her Harry Potter series, you don't say,
Really?
can make it more accessible and believable for a new generation of Catholics and Christians. They know it's bollocks and they're trying to fucking...
I was just about to say it.
Bible 2.
Yeah, well, how do you... What's one surefire way of letting everybody know that your revered book is a work of fiction? Oh, I don't know. Maybe hire one of the most successful fiction writers of modern times to redo it for you.
Yeah.
Not a philosopher, not a scholar, not somebody...
yeah.
You know, not
Yeah.
somebody who's spent their entire life doing Bible studies. No.
It says
That
here-
bird who did Harry Potter...
That bird that wrote about the wizards, I love that.
It says here, figures such as Dementors and other popular creations may take the place of less realistic biblical creatures such as unicorns and the Leviathan.
Hey, unicorns in the Bible.
I didn't know that.
Neither did I.
Hang on.
This is April Fool's, isn't it?
Let's do some live...
No, I'm sorry, hang on. This has got... When was this article dated, Mike?
January the 21st, 2014.
Let's do some live journalism. I'm gonna.
I only get the newest
I'm gonna.
up-to-date news.
I'm gonna Google unicorns in the Bible
Alright, that's fine.
because
They can't be in the Bible.
when many people hear that unicorns are mentioned in the Bible, they imagine the mythical unicorn with a flowing mane. But that image of the unicorn is only fantasy.
Well, more than the
What?
flowing mane, I envisage the fucking horn
Hang
on the
on.
head. That kind of what distinguishes it from a normal fucking horse.
Yeah.
Unicorns. Now I'm seeing on the first page of Google two different answers. One says they are mentioned 9 times in the Bible, and one says they are mentioned 5 times in the Bible.
Well, they're mentioned.
Uh,
Hang on, this has got to be bullshit. She's agreed to it, and while the specifics of the rewrite are not yet known, it's believed Rowling is tasked with producing a compelling tale that young Catholics and Christians can engage with. We're very happy Miss Rowling has agreed to... This can't be the JK Rowling. This is just some woman called, like, something else.
Apparently so.
And
Rowling's selection has raised some eyebrows.
And you always know an article is bullshit because we are happy Miss Rowling has agreed to the rewrite. We keenly await the first draft, a Vatican insider has told WWN. Now, that's code work for somebody I made up because anyone can do that.
Yeah, I've just realised. I think this is a one of them fake news sort of sites.
Oh, they're good for that.
Waterford Whisperer.
Well, I did see a really...
It says the sales of the Jesus Christ action figure have dropped by over 200% in the last 10 years. We're in need of a new, compelling and toy-friendly characters.
This is fake.
Yeah, that's me. The source close to the Pope told them.
Man. Speaking of an insider said...
I'm quite sure that JK Rowling's an atheist as well.
Probably. You know, the whole insider said, I once saw an amazing thing along those lines. Kevin Smith, the writer and director, who I think we're all fans of, he was accepting an award, an Empire Award at the Empire Movie Awards. And there's this column in either The Sun or The Mirror called The 3 a.m. Girls. And they'd done a sort of salacious story about, because his film at the time was Jersey Girl and it had Ben Affleck and the singer J-Lo. in it. And so there's a lot of gossip surrounding the film because those two were a couple. And they'd said some bitchy stuff, and Kevin is accepting the award, and these 3am girls are sat there in the audience, and he reads out their article, and he's like, an insider said, a source close to the star said, and he points out that that's just like bullshit.
Yeah.
You can say that and make anything up, and he goes, and saying that, and the girls are sat there, he says, somebody told me that for €10, not £10, €10, you can come in each one of their fucking mouths. An insider told me. And they're just sat there like with everyone going, yeah! Because he's fucking right. But if you can qualify it with an insider said, or I can't say it, a source close to the star, then you can fucking just say anything, can't you?
Yeah.
Fucking bollocks.
It's like the only in this, isn't it? It's like, a satirical.
It was funny though. I mean, I wouldn't put it past
for a
us.
second.
And we've learned that unicorns are mentioned in the fucking Bible,
Yeah.
which surely then is solid concrete proof that the Bible is ass.
Yeah. I heard a bird on Howard Hughes, a woman, I'm talking Howard Hughes on the Unexplained podcast, who claimed that unicorns were real. She was a spiritual advisor from Scotland.
Well, there is a cult dedicated to unicorns, isn't there?
There's a sex cult, yeah. You were going to join that, did you?
No, but I will do soon.
But I do find it, because, as you've heard me being mocked for, listener, I now live with my girlfriend and her 2 little girls, and
I've moved on now.
they are obsessed with unicorns. Unicorns are everywhere in the house. And I do find it strange, like they're just horses with horns on their head. What is so captivating and magical about a fucking horse with a horn on its head?
Yeah, you're right.
Rhinos have got horns. They don't have little rhino teddies all over the house. Anyway.
It's that princess mentality, guys, that they're all princesses.
But I read something hilarious. It was a post that a lady had posted on Facebook, and it was basically saying, to try and get out of calling little girls beautiful and princess, here's a list of other things you can call them. And it was a list of adjectives,
Just by their name, that would help.
Well, yeah. But it was a list of adjectives, and it was like, one of them was entrepreneurial.
Right.
So I was like, so what? Instead of greeting your daughter with "Hello, princess," I have to say, "Hello, entrepreneurial. Hello, strong, motivated entrepreneurial warrior."
Woman.
No, fuck off! Like, she loves princesses. She chooses to love princesses. Nobody forces her to.
Or is that just the Disney films showing that idea in her head that you've got to be a princess? Is it just brainwashing at that age?
No, and I get what the post is saying. Yes, reinforcing their minds that they can be anything they want to be. I get that. But surely they get that the impracticalities of what is fucking wrong with calling her princess. So instead,
as long as you don't carry that on into her 20s and 30s, you're laughing.
Well, I'm going to call her Miss Entrepreneurial if she does anything fucking remotely entrepreneurial. If she doesn't,
What if she starts dressing like IRS from the old wrestling and strutting around with a briefcase? You're going entrepreneurial then?
Then I will love it. I will love every second of it. Have you paid your taxes? Oh, he was ace.
He was actually quite a good wrestler.
Do you know who his son is?
No.
Bray Wyatt.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mike Rotunda's his real name. But anyway, we're getting off. We're losing Mike. We're talking wrestling.
Get the defibrillator. I don't use one of them.
Right, I've got one more quote from this story because I think it's great. Judas is probably going to wear a leather jacket, and JK's toying with the idea of a nervous twitcher with an eye badge.
She's thinking of splitting it up into 9, maybe 10 books.
I'm guessing WWN might be Weekly World News, and this might be a thing from Ward of Wizards. I do like the Weekly World News. It's
the NSA's Skynet program may be killing thousands
robot bait
of innocent people. I shit you not, they called it Skynet.
That's what I'm saying fuck off about. Why call it that? It's the biggest trolling. And why call it fucking Skynet?
because it's the net and it's in the sky.
Fuck off. That is massive fucking trolling.
Ridiculously optimistic machine learning algorithm is completely bullshit, says expert. This is another fake news thing. In 2014, the former director of both the CIA and NSA proclaimed that we will kill people based on metadata. Now, a new examination of previously published Snowden documents suggests that many of those people may have been innocent.
That is the plot to fucking Captain America 2.
Yeah,
using metadata an algorithm to decide who lives and who dies.
Yeah. So this is how mad it is. The last one was a fake news. This one isn't. And this is just as incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
On the plus side, Catch America 2. Fucking great film.
Absolutely awesome film.
Last year, The Intercept published documents detailing the NSA's Skynet program. According to the documents, Skynet engages in massive surveillance of Pakistan's mobile phone network and then uses a machine learning algorithm on the cellular network metadata of 55 million people to try and rate each person's likelihood of being a terrorist. For fuck's sake.
Oi, oi, oi.
Well, that's concerning.
Well, I've got to tell you, lads, when you combine the three of us sat here and the research we do for the show, the amount of things we Google, then add on to that our own personal Google searches of whatever they may be, there's a pretty good chance we're on some sort of government.
Definitely.
They're too curious. Asking too many questions.
I mean, our faces have been scanned at the anti-austerity marches. There's a helicopter literally hovering over the crowd, and you can see a camera underneath, and you're like, yeah, you're scanning faces.
Of course.
Definitely.
They'll be doing their job if they're not.
Yeah.
Identifying potential usurpers or
Anarchists.
agitators.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, this is quite timely
sure,
because we're going to touch on a lot of this when we discuss the main subject. What sort of metadata gives one away as being a terrorist, I suppose?
This is why this guy's saying it's complete bullshit. A flaw in how the NSA trains Skynet's machine learning algorithm to analyse cellular metadata, Ball told ARS, makes the results scientifically unsound.
I suppose it's key words, as I thought.
Somewhere between 2,500 and 4,000 people have been killed by drone strikes in Pakistan since 2004, and most of them are classified by the US government as extremists, the Bureau of Investigative Journalism reported.
Wow.
So, has Pakistan given the okay for that, or what? I mean, they're just randomly drone striking people? That's,
In the years that have followed, thousands of innocent people in Pakistan may have been mislabelled as terrorists by that scientifically unsound algorithm.
So basically, if they're on the phone going, oh yeah, them fucking extremists are wankers, all it's done is pick up on the word extremist and go, oh, there we go, there's the location, drone strike back.
Yeah, well, it's metadata, isn't it? So that, you know, they'll know where certain, like, political groups,
Yeah.
and if he's going there, like, every day,
Yeah,
you know
mobile
what I mean?
traffic.
And then his
yeah.
internet.
Well, the best tracking device in the world is your mobile phone.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And they've given us all one.
Yeah.
What's that sad to say, eh?
I did like that. It wasn't mine. I shared somebody else's. I shared that meme the other day that said something along the lines of, on reflection, giving up all my personal data to Facebook in exchange for seeing what my high school friends had for dinner may have been a mistake.
Yeah.
But do take some comfort in the fact that, you know, this stuff that's in the news as we record with that company Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah.
The metadata they're taking comes from you clicking on those fucking stupid quiz things.
Oh.
Those third party, which Muppet are you?
Yeah.
Which Fast and the Furious car
God, I
would
hate
you
that
most likely
shit.
drive? So any fool, if you're someone who's clicked on those fucking things, and I think I've only ever clicked on one, which is which Transformer are you?
How did I know you were going to say that?
and I'm not going to lie to you, I chose my answers based on who I knew it was going to come
That's
out
the
with.
problem. You can do that.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
I wanted
Bollocks,
it.
isn't
Yeah.
it?
Well, yeah, I
Scientific.
wanted it to tell me I was Optimus
Yeah.
Prime, so I chose the most Optimus Prime of all the options, and it was a piece of piss for it to tell me that I am Optimus Prime. So yeah, this is horrific. This is scary.
And the fact that they've called it Skynet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's trolling on a massive level. I'm not happy with the name. But this thing, that's a whole episode in itself, what we give up. Because I'm not going to lie to you, having this little miniature computer in my pocket is pretty awesome. It does a lot of
great.
awesome things
Yeah.
for me.
It's got a trade-off.
Yeah, all the information I ever wanted is right there at my fingertips. I can make amazing professional quality. The camera on this, I've had a recent upgrade. I'm not showing off everyone. You can all get one. And it's nice. It's the greatest camera I've ever had. And it's amazing. And so yeah, there is a lot of, but like you said, Mike, the fucking trade-off, which we don't like to think about, is at its most innocuous end, it's using it to sell things to me.
Yeah.
It's using it to
You can
direct
kind of-
advertise. But
As annoying as fuck that is, adverts, we're kind of a little bit used to it now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you can kind of put up with that, can't you?
But there's this more sinister side of it, is then tracking me, my movements, my whereabouts,
Yeah.
hearing my conversations, because I'm giving up a level of my own
And
autonomy.
did you know that the terms and conditions of Facebook is longer than War and Peace?
Wow. What the fuck are they saying?
It's probably about as fucking exciting
So
as
who
well.
has actually ever read the terms and conditions? Who reads them anyway?
No, I don't. I never.
You're not going to read a fucking terms and conditions that's bigger than War and Peace.
No. But if you do anything wrong, they
Of course,
got you.
they got you. 'Cause they know it off by heart.
Yeah. But it flags up in an algorithm.
Yeah. But unless you're willing to study it for what weeks, I imagine, you're not going to know the inside information, that contract that you're
No, you're not.
agreeing to.
You know.
And on top of that, they'll use fucking legalese. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to make it even more confusing to put you off.
The thing is, I mean, see, you did read it. You'd have to sit there with a fucking what they call them, magnifying glass, because it's all fucking tiny print even on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you're willing to fuck about with your settings,
But
your
War and
magnifying-
Peace is longer than War and Peace.
And before you use Facebook, you take 6 months to read War and Peace, donating most moments of your spare time after work, leaving your computer on 24/7, so I can grab a few more lines here and there, and then decided, you know what, I don't agree with that.
You get to the end clause, like, yeah. Oh no, I don't fucking agree with that. Oh no! Just wasted 6 months of my life. Because that's what you would fucking do. It's such a joke, man. It's such a joke.
It's
Did you see that South Park episode where, like, if you didn't read the iTunes terms and conditions, they had ultimate authority to turn you into a human centipede?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. You don't know what the fuck you're
So like,
saying.
oh, sorry, Article 27 of our terms and conditions says that we can do this,
Yeah.
and they're like, no, we didn't mean it.
But
No,
you clicked, I agree.
I agree.
But it's I don't know how much to say. I can do this without getting anyone in trouble. Somebody I know who may or may not partake in illegal activities to do with the sale of an illicit herb has been arrested recently, and his phone taken from him, and they're now just mining it for every bit of, well, I imagine as well, you know, that phone now can tell them everywhere he's fucking been, because it uses the pings on the
GPS
on the tail. You can tell everywhere he's fucking been, track his movement, every conversation he's had. It's quite scary when you look at it in them terms. But like they say, if you've got nothing to hide, what are you worried about? I'm not planning on getting arrested. You know.
No, but people behave very differently. People behave very differently when they know they've been watched. That's the difference. If you're free to think and do what you want, you're going to act differently than if you know someone's watching you.
I'm not a number. I'm a free man.
Cue a giant bubble.
That's a great link, isn't it? Do you think?
Yeah.
Mention freedom.
Yeah, and not a
And
number,
liberty.
which, let's face it, that's why it's called V, isn't it?
Yeah. Come
The
on,
man
Ben.
from room 5.
2, 3, 4. I've been searching for freedom.
He was parachuted in for that fucking concert, aren't he? Literally, they're smashing the wall down, and all of a sudden, out of the inky blackness of the night, comes a big German parachute with David Hasselhoff hanging underneath it, and he touches down, and he's got amps strapped to his back, and he just breaks into that.
Yeah.
That's how it should have happened.
Do it. So, can I just call a quick urination break?
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
let's tackle the meat and taters.
On V for Vendetta. Alright, we're back, so let's go to V for Vendetta.
It only took us an hour to get there.
Yeah.
Come on, you're used to us by now, dear listener.
Released in 2005, written by the Rakowski brothers of Matrix fame, more than anything.
Yeah.
And Speed Racer, which I've
Yeah.
never seen.
Directed by James McTeague, never heard of McTeague, sorry. Never really heard of anything he's done. Based on the comics by Alan Moore and David Lloyd, starring Hugo Weaving as V, Natalie Portman as Evie, Stephen Rea as Detective Finch. Is that how I say it? Stephen Rea? Stephen Fry as Dietrich. I don't know.
I just
It's
like Mike's,
R-E-A.
I just like Mike's sugar.
Usually he pulls you up on pronunciation, so...
Well, I do want to know, but I don't know. Rhea, it could be anything.
John Hurt as Adam Sutler, and I'm pretty sure it's John Pertwee as Creedy.
Not John Pertwee, he's been dead for years.
Isn't
mate.
that the fucking
Where's the
Gummidge?
Gummidge?
Oh shit, yeah. Who is it then? Can't look at the IMDb and sat in front of me, sorry. I read the wrong name.
On, Sally!
He just pulls his head off. Puts on a different one.
Puts his fascist head on.
For any American listeners, just Google Wurzel Gummidge and all will be revealed.
Tim Piggott-Smith, I was thinking. I don't know if I got John Pertwee from. He's Creedy.
Tim Piggott-Smith.
Yeah, it's actually Roger Allam is Lewis Prothero, who I will focus on slightly in a bit, because he's the voice of London.
The newsreader.
The
Farage of the film.
Oh, God, I wanted to punch him in the fucking face.
England will prevail.
Yes, so the film starts with Evie Hammond, Natalie Portman. She's dolling herself up a bit. She's going out and watching. Well, actually, the film technically opens, I should say, with a little Guy Fawkes thing and the remember the 5th of November.
Mm-hmm.
Gunpowder,
Yes.
treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. And that's
For
Guy
any
Fawkes.
international listeners that don't know who Guy Fawkes was and what the plot was.
He tried to blow up Parliament to promote Catholicism in England, effectively. And kill the King and Parliament and then have a Catholic revolution.
Oh. But he didn't. He failed, though, didn't he?
Yeah, they found him.
I don't know the details of that. I've never.
He wrote a letter to one of his mates who was an MP and said, "Don't be in Parliament on this day."
Yeah, you don't let sentimentality get in the way of that.
So he was a good. He only wanted to murder bad people, you see. Not
And the
his
king.
friends. You know. Hey, I watched Black Panther last night. Murdering kings is all, you know.
It's
what
all
you
the rage.
do. That's how you get.
It's all the rage.
That's how you get power.
Yes, so then we cut to Evie Hammond, Natalie Portman donning herself up to go out. And in the background, the voice of London, Lewis Prothero, who's Roger Allam. Now, he reminds me of Farage, we touched on that. I really wanted to punch this fucker in the face.
You're supposed to.
I know.
Unless you're a fascist.
He was a good actor as well. Whoever
You are?
plays it. Well, yeah. Unless,
Then you agree with him?
Whoever was playing that guy was.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
it's
good.
Roger Allam.
Okay.
And it's a bit of background here, because it turns out America's having a civil war, which you're a big fan of, Mike.
I'm not a big fan of it. I just think there's going to be something going to happen there.
I don't need your civil war. That was my Guns N' Roses impression.
It's not bad, actually. Turns out that America, he says the war America started, the plague they unleashed, and it turns out America has sent a load of food over in the hope that we'll give them some medical supplies.
Right.
And he calls America, the USA, the altered sphincter of, oh God, what is it? Anal, I don't know, I can't remember what it is now, I forgot, I was never remember that. Doesn't matter. Anyway, he makes mockery. Anyway, no one escapes judgment. No one escapes their past.
Who judges the judges?
Who watches the watchman?
Who wanks the wankers?
And I'm a God-fearing Englishman and I'm goddamn proud of it.
I love the contradiction in that fucking
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to use the phrase
No.
"God damn" if you're.
No.
Lord in vain, isn't it?
Strength through unity, unity through faith.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. England is a effectively right-wing religious state at this point.
Does it specify what year it's set in the movie?
I don't think it does, no.
Because it's not in the comic book was written in around 87 and was set in 97. So it's a near future. This isn't
Yeah.
a distant
I think
technological
no,
future.
it pretty much everything's the same apart from it's like it's probably Brexit Britain 2025 to be fair. I'd imagine we could set it at now.
And did you guys clock? It was fucking kept blagging me actually. So the movie was released in 2005.
Yeah.
Did you clock the phones?
Yes,
that
they were
everyone was
all
using? They're all tablet phones.
Yeah.
Touchscreen tablet
Oh, were they?
phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all look like iPhones. or
And they went out
galaxies. I don't think so. 2005? No, I was
No.
still.
I don't know, man.
My phone had an aerial, didn't it?
Nah, 2005. No, we'd have been on iPhone 3Gs, something like that. I had an iPhone 3G way back then.
I don't know if it was that far away. It
Well, a
might
bit
be
of
about,
live journalism.
I think about 10 years ago. Let me do.
I don't know. I mean, remember 2005? It's only 13 years ago. I mean.
Oh, okay, maybe yeah. The first I'll just do a quick carry on, and I'll find out. It's not that important.
Right. So Evie decides she's going to go out. She's going to meet Gordon Dietrich, who we'll come to later.
No, dude, sorry. We were still on Nokia 110s, Motorola C139s. There were still buttons.
Wow.
Yeah. So that. I suppose it wasn't that much of a leap. I just thought that was a pretty cool little...
Yeah.
So some designer obviously sat there and was saying, well, what a phone's mobile device is going to look like in...
Well, they may have contacted the phone producers and they got them...
said, what is...
Your advanced...
Yes.
Research
What's
and
your
development.
future tech R&D? Yeah. Okay, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that is good, actually, because I thought we probably had the touchscreen for a bit longer than that. There may have been a few primitive ones knocking about, maybe.
possibly.
The more high-end models.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah, so Evie's out on the street. She's late, and she knows she's late.
She's past curfew.
She's past curfew, and she's accosted by three. The comic book refers to them as finger men.
Yeah.
And she does in the film, but it's not
Yeah.
really explained what it is in the film. But they are the guys. They're the secret police. They're out on
you-
the street.
Do you know the reason why they were called the Finger Men? It's something to do with everything in the government in this story relates to a part of the body. Like there's the eyes,
The voice of London.
voice is the head is that
Is-
news network, and the finger men were the hands that went
Yeah.
out and did the
Did the
dirty
deeds, the
work.
dirty work.
So there's some
Exactly.
pretty. But to be honest, so you'd like to assume that finger men are like government employees, but the three that turn up in this scene are like the three rapiest, druggiest, fucking weirdo looking. They're not nice, are they?
The one rapey guy who does look. He's like, oh, I've got a bad case of the blues, and he's like, he makes a touch.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, how the fuck did you pass selection for that job? And then you think, well, it doesn't matter because
And they make
they're
it.
just there to do creepy work anyway, aren't they?
Yes.
I mean, they're untouchable effectively.
They make it very clear to the character Evie that they're not going to arrest her or they're going to rape her. They're
Yeah.
making it
Yeah.
very blatant that she's about to be horrifically fucking gang raped. So,
And then V,
hey,
a chap in a Fawkesian mask, shows up, which points out that V is all them anonymous folks you see wearing the mask. This is where they got it from.
yeah, it comes from the comic book and this movie. And he looks. Let's take a moment to say, as superheroes go, he looks fucking fantastic, doesn't he? Like a bit of a dandy. You know,
That's why he's on my
there
arm.
you go. He's got the hat and he's just the cape. He's just looking pretty
smooth.
He is.
fucking cool.
He's
Yeah,
looking like a badass Guy Fawkes.
and then starts
Yeah, it's-
talking.
He
very-
does do a. They say, well, well, let's face it. I mean, Gaz, you're gonna attempt to
I'm
read
going
the.
to attempt it.
Yeah,
'cause-
it's a very. After he kicks the shit out of the fingermen rather stylishly,
Yes.
spare the rod, and
Hey.
then smacks him across the face with his truncheon.
Yes.
He approaches Evie and she asks, like, who are you? And he says, well, that's a silly question to be asking a man in a mask.
Yeah. And
And then he launches into this fantastic
speech.
speech.
Which I think you're given an insight straight away in the very early scenes that this isn't your average superhero movie or superhero.
Absolutely.
Because, it's kind of Shakespearean in a way. So I'm going to try this. I haven't done this, so I'm doing this for the first time live, so forgive me, because this is a fucking tongue twister.
Oh, yeah. And,
Hats off to the
to Hugo Weaving
Hugo
for this,
Weaving. So he says, "Voila, in view, a humble vaudevillian veteran, cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage, or visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of the vox populi, now vacant, vanished. However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified and has vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition. He then carves a V into the poster on the wall and continues, the only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta, held as a votive, Not in vain, for the value and veracity of such shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. Verily, this vitios of verbiage veers most verbose, so let me simply add that it's my very good honour to meet you, and you may call me V.
Well done, Gaz.
Yeah, fair play. I like
What
it.
an introductory speech. It's a bit better than Tim Burton's Batman. Tell all your friends about me.
Do you ever use mock Michael Keaton as Batman, my friend? He's one of my
No,
favourite.
he probably is my favourite Batman.
Yeah,
but-
easily.
But so you let know quite early on. This is no normal script, no normal superhero. You're intrigued, aren't you? At
Yeah.
this point, he's got me. I'm like,
He's
hello.
he's Guy Fawkes, a
Yeah.
badass Guy Fawkes.
Yeah.
He's speaking like that, which is like
It's
Shakespearean.
a bit, yeah.
And because Evie then says to him, "Are you like a crazy person?" And he says, "Well, I'm quite sure they will say so." You know, the guy says, "Then to whom might I ask? Am I speaking? I'm Evie." Evie.
Yes.
Ah.
It's all.
Of course you
know.
are.
And then she's taken with him, isn't she? Because she's kind of fucked now, isn't she? Because
Yeah.
the
She's-
Fingermen are going to be. They're going to be after her for the fact that they. I don't think he kills them. Does he kill them?
No, he just beats them
Beats
up
the
pretty
shit out of
badly.
them,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Yeah.
Do they know who she is at this point?
They would
No.
have. Well, they do capture on CCTV later on because he takes her to a rooftop, and he says, he just started saying, I'm a musician of sorts, and I usually call upon I'm calling on the whole orchestra tonight."
Yes.
And he takes her to a rooftop, and they overlook the Old Bailey.
Because this happens literally after he finds her in the alleyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the very next scene.
And she just says, "Do you want to come with me?" And he says,
Yeah.
"I promise you, you'll get home
Yeah.
quite safely." And
Because
he's
she hasn't got many options now, has she? She's already.
no, he saved her from
Yeah.
horrific, brutal gang rape. So
She can try and get home, but she's also going to be thinking, well, the Fingermen are going to be after me now, and I've seen what they're like. I'll go with this dude. He seems pretty good with a knife.
yeah.
And very good at alliteration.
Yes.
And he can save me from rape.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So up they go to the rooftop.
And he asks her what the day is, and she said, "Well, it's the 4th of November." And then you hear the bells of Big Ben, which is the bell, not the clock tower. The clock tower is the Elizabeth clock tower nowadays.
Ooh. I'm impressed.
Did you see the fake news article that was posted? It was posted by a left-wing sort of fake news paper kind of thing. And it was they were saying that it was going to be renamed Massive Mohammed. And all these Britain First guys were going nuts over it. It's like, if you're dumb enough to believe that, you fucking idiots, and you're dumb enough to believe anything. Oh, it was fantastic.
Well, they believe that, you know, we're experiencing the Islamification of this country.
Well,
Of course we are.
well, they believe that.
Yeah, but it's real, Ben. It's real.
Is
Yeah.
it?
You know, they've taken Easter off the Easter eggs, which they haven't.
Oh, that went in the reggae box last week. We're no longer to speak of it, remember?
Oh yeah, but you know,
Well, the other week, sorry, not last week.
I saw stuff online though of Cadbury's replying saying we haven't.
It's never been on there.
Yeah,
It's never. And I've got I saved a meme, well, a photo on my phone in response to this, and he was like, "Here's some pictures of Easter eggs from the 70s and 80s.
Exactly the same.
None of them say Easter, and it's like
Yeah.
it's just a chocolate fucking egg."
Who's keeping their Easter eggs in the 70s
It
and
was
80s?
pictures taken from various.
Ah, yeah.
You can find obviously you find advertising pictures online and stuff like that if you chose to look.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, and how many of those fuckers who our Christian values are being taken away? And how many of them went to church today? I bet you fucking none of them did.
Well, exactly. But we did touch on this as we were talking about smartphones earlier. That Facebook creates an echo chamber.
Of course.
So those people are only seeing those opinions. They're only seeing those kinds of articles. Your way of life is under threat because of the Muslims.
Oh.
Muslims.
And then Muslimic ray guns.
Yeah. Muslimic.
Do you know what I saw today? Actually, was shared by someone. It was foreign. Foreign was the word used.
Ooh.
Visitors should not be given free treatment on our underfunded NHS. And you're like,
Just let them die in the street.
yeah,
Fuck 'em.
so if you're visiting on holiday and you get knocked over by a car, it's not your fault. You know.
Yeah, but we're British, Ben. We expect to be looked after.
Then what you should do is stick your fucking stick your card in the chip and pin machine next to your bed for convenience and fucking bollocks. You can't fucking just leave people to die because they can't pay.
Not here. Not in my name.
Not in this country, you cunts.
Yeah, so those people are stupid, but again, it's not their fault. They're being whipped up by algorithms that are beyond their control.
Russian bots, man.
The bots have won. We just give in to the bots. So back to V.
Back to V. So they're overlooking the Old Bailey. The inscription on the Old Bailey reads...
Oh, should we just... Sorry, Ben, to interrupt again. Sorry, mate.
Sorry?
Should we just explain what the Old Bailey is to...
Good point. The Old Bailey is our oldest court of justice in this country. It's the high... Is it one of the highest courts? Civilian courts? Something like that. They don't legally
Could
use
be.
a royal... It's certainly...
It's important.
It's the premier courthouse of central London.
Yeah.
And the inscription on it reads, "Defend the children of the poor, punish the wrongdoer."
Right. And it's got that statue on top of
The
the
blindfolded lady of
with the
justice,
scales,
who you might recognise from Metallica's "And Justice for All" album.
Does that say
there you go.
defend the poor?
Does it say defend the children of the poor and punish the wrongdoer?
Is that why now the government have taken away legal assistance for people that can't afford it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That's defending the poor,
And
isn't it?
kids are going to starve.
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's about the middle class kids, mate, not
yeah.
the poor ones.
So they're your public school boys.
Yeah. Fuck them. So this is pretty cool. At this point, you might not really understand what the fuck's going on. What's V on about? And
Yeah, he's saying I'm a musician and I'm going to call on the whole orchestra tonight.
Yeah, and you must have seen the film if you're listening, but there's so every street has got a loudspeaker
Yeah,
attached.
a government curfew is in
Yeah.
effect.
So
PA system.
V has somehow hacked this system, hasn't
Yeah.
he? And
The 1812 Overture
yes,
starts to play, which is actually the victory. Is it Tchaikovsky wrote the 1812 Overture? Possibly, I think it was.
Sounds
I think it was. And he wrote it to celebrate the defeat of Napoleon.
right. But it's very celebratory, isn't it? In its very bombastic piece.
Yes, and then the entire fucking Old Bailey just blows up in a fantastic explosion and some nice fireworks.
Yeah.
Lots of fireworks.
Guy Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes and a big V going up in the
Yay.
sky. A lot of V's in this film. Don't know if you all noticed it
Yeah.
at some point.
I did.
There is a theme. I did.
There's definite theme of V in this film.
There is some V's.
Yeah. And so we then cut to...
It's like go back to V for Victory, do you think?
Possibly, yeah.
That was a big
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
after the war, wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what? I didn't look.
Well, and during it, in all fairness, actually Churchill was going around flashing the V sign.
Yeah.
Victory, although he was doing it the other way around, he was giving the V for... well, it's not go forth and... It's go forth and multiply, it's fuck you.
Right.
Fuck off.
Yes.
We then cut to Chancellor Sutler, who is the main... He's the ruler of the country in this scenario. His Prime Minister's gone, you know, a High Chancellor.
Yeah. Did you notice Sutler's a not so subtle play on Hitler? Because in the book, I can't remember now, but he's not called Sutler.
Well, it's called the Chancellor.
Yeah, well, yeah, the High
We
Chancellor.
don't have that here, do we? We have the Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Yeah.
They explain in the movie how that position was created in the when V explains to the police officer how they created that position for the High Chancellor.
How the Norse Fire Party got into power.
Yeah. So imagine you're Evie at this point. What a fucking night you've had.
Oh yeah.
You were trying to go on a bit of a dodgy illegal date anyway. You nearly get gang raped.
Yeah.
Guy Fawkes shows up,
Badass Guy Fawkes.
stabs some cunts, right?
No, he doesn't kill him, does he?
Oh,
He just
okay.
beats them up quite badly.
Viciously maims some potential rapers. Then launches into some of
A Shakespearean diatribe.
yes. He starts, quoting his own sonnet. He then takes you to a rooftop. Somehow starts playing music through the government fucking speaker system, and you must at that point be thinking, fucking hell, this guy's connected.
Yeah.
Then the old fucking Bailey blows up.
And fireworks cracking off. His name's V. There's fireworks in a V. It's not just coincidence, is it? He's obviously done it.
Because there are, there are technicians whose job it is to create fireworks displays. And, that's some firework programming going on there.
Oh, absolutely.
The big V at the end.
Yeah.
This guy is talented.
Oh, he knows what he's doing. There's no doubt about that.
He's a bit of a renaissance
He's
man.
certainly a jack of all trades. You'll do that. And a bit of a culture vulture, as we'll get to later.
Okay.
Yeah. So Sutler is addressing his inner circle, and now in the comic they're all the fingers, the voice. They've all got, so basically all the senses of the human body, isn't it, effectively? And he says to Creedy is the head of the secret police. He's quite an important character. We'll come into it more later on. He's basically bollocking him. He says, I never want to hit that. Add that music to the blacklist. And then the head of the BTN, I assume is the British television network. Mm-hmm. So everything's British in this film, isn't it? If you notice, everything that is sold or is a corporation has a big B in front of it. For British.
Isn't it?
And that is one of. We'll get into that later. I suppose we'll go through the movie, and at the end we'll talk, because that is one of Alan Moore's, the writer of the original comic book. That's one of his major objections to the movie script, is that it's. Oh, I'll save that for later. I'll save it for later. But he's not happy with it still being set in Britain, basically, but being about American politics.
I see what you mean.
Essentially.
Yeah.
I'll not explain. He's got a pretty detailed quote why, which we'll save. But so yeah, it is the British television network.
So they construct fake news and say, they call it an emergency demolition. And the music was added by the demolition crew trying to give the old girl a good send off.
Really enjoyed
an emergency demolition at 3 a.m, just gone midnight. That's what you do, isn't it? You have an emergency demolition at midnight.
That's what you do. You spin bad news.
Exactly.
You turn bad news.
I thought of you during that bit, Mike, because I was Mike's gonna like that, because they literally were just right, how do we spin this?
Yeah.
So it's happened, we're going to report, obviously we're not going to report what's happened, because fuck that. So how do we spin the Old Bailey blowing up?
It happens every day in our newspapers.
Yeah, and that's the reality of how they fucking do it. And I found that quite amusing. Terrifying.
Actually, technically the guy in charge of the BTN does say, it's our job to report the news, not fabricate it. That's the government's job. That is a direct quote from the film.
Yeah, that sums it up. Yeah.
So there you go.
The media is meant to be a check on power.
It is. It's
not meant to collude with power. People.
How does Saint Ike describe the process? The news are simply the repeaters. They go over to the people in power, ask them what the story is, then turn round to us and repeat what they've been told with authority.
The clues in the name. Reporter.
Repeater. Yeah, there you go.
And reporter, you're reporting on what you've been told, aren't you?
There you go.
Then intro Stephen Fry playing Dietrich, and Evie, so he says, you were meant to come round last night and you didn't. He says, I got accosted by Fingermen and I went home. She works at the BTN, as she's a bit of a low-level gopher, isn't she?
Yeah.
Fetcher, carrier, hopefully get a big break one day if she sucks up enough, kind of thing.
Big break.
Let's not reference. I do Jim Davidson's big. You know what? Not a bad Saturday night prime time TV show. Big break. Made snooker vaguely interesting.
Fucking big break.
Hey, it made snooker vaguely interesting.
Oh God, I love this. We're reviewing the Wachowski brothers film, Viva Vendetta, and fucking.
And Mike pops in with the big break theme.
I can't remember the whole of it.
What was it called? John Parrott or something?
John Virgo was the snooker player, wasn't he? And then Jim Davidson
with his funky vest.
He used to have funky waistcoats on.
Big break. Something
like that.
70% of our audience who are based in America.
I have no idea.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
But these guys just stick to the movie.
Sorry, that's Mike's fault.
No, I love it. I love the references that come up on this show.
Well, that's when I used to like snooker.
Yeah. You know, I have a vague memory of watching snooker in black and white.
Yeah. They used to have to describe
describe everything.
That's a nightmare.
It was.
He's just hit a green ball.
If you watched the game from the start, it wasn't too much of an issue because you kind of had a mental image of where the balls were. But the big clump of balls at the end of the table was obviously the Reds.
Yeah, but that sounds like effort and work.
It does.
You don't have to do that on your computer.
No one knows. I use my eyes. It's fine. I'm going to think about it.
Mathematical equations to keep track of the balls. Fucking colour.
Anyway, so Evie, we got to the BTN Tower, which is the old telecom tower in London, the old British telecom tower, built by Tony Benn. We'll give him the green light by Tony Benn.
Little Tony Benn.
I knew he was a bit of a good bloke, but he built the fucking tower.
Well, he didn't build it all. But, he was one of the guys who gave it the public funding to do. As amongst other things, didn't he? He gave quite a lot, the green light, Concorde in particular as well. He gave the.
He did, yeah.
Even though he was struggling.
Unfortunately, he gave the green light to nuclear power plants. He thought at the time it's better to use nuclear power for something neutral like creating energy rather than weapons. So that was his.
Yeah, I could see.
That was his thinking. But then he came to believe that it was the wrong thing to do.
I'm not educated enough on it. I know when it goes wrong, it's bad, like what happened at Fukushima.
Well, that's it,
That was like an exceptional
But
circumstance.
I was gonna say,
Well,
I mean,
Chernobyl, you've got
that was an
5
everyday
Mile Island
reactor.
as well.
No, that was nothing.
Oh, wasn't it?
No, that was literally everyone got the radiation they get from standing next to their microwave.
Do you know the radiation from Chernobyl is still in the atmosphere? It'll never go anywhere, apparently.
Yeah,
it's
that's
still there.
I watched a documentary on that recently where they've had to build a new concrete dome over the old one, but because no one could go near it, they had to like robot it in.
Yeah, but I don't mean in the actual area. I mean the stuff that was blasted up, and from every nuclear explosion ever, the stuff that was blasted up into the atmosphere will never go anywhere.
Oh,
It
yeah.
will always
Well,
be.
it's got a half-life of millions of years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I don't think anyone can go back into that. Oh God, what's the bloody village next to it?
Do they have massive
The
walls,
city.
or is that?
No, that's
a
just
conspiracy
bullshit.
theory?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
They don't have nuclear-powered walls.
No,
roaming Chernobyl.
no.
No, just defect births and.
Oh well, it's yeah,
bless.
it's 30,000 years to get back into the city next to it, and then with spare thought for the poor bastards that had to go in there and clear that as it was all going tits up. They could only do 15 minutes at a time,
It's
and they
insane,
had
man.
shit gear on, literally just rubber aprons and a mask and some goggles and rubber gloves.
But there's no fucking need for it. I mean,
And they were just shoveling this stuff on top for 15 minutes for they had to then rush back in, go and get completely decontaminated.
I said
Well, they said-
decapitated.
Well, most of them didn't survive long
Yeah,
after because they had
yeah.
shit gear. And then the next lot went in for 15 minutes.
But-
They need to rotate that.
But as long
Yeah,
as
that's
nothing
what they do.
goes wrong, isn't it cleaner than burning coal?
yeah.
It is until you get to the waste.
So
That's the problem.
It's
that's
got a
a bit-
half-life of millions of years.
Yeah.
And what
you
do we
know.
do with nuclear
We
waste?
put it
Dip
underground.
it in the sea. Oh,
We
underground.
have
put it
dumped some
into-
in the sea before now,
Yeah.
covered in concrete
Yeah.
and dumped in the sea.
Or we put it into our ammunition and fire at Iraqis.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
not funny. I'm
I'm not-
sorry, I'm not laughing.
No,
at
it's
it.
not funny. I've held that shit close to my genitals.
And when you see the Cyclops kids,
Yeah. That sounds like a hell of a ska band.
yeah. Fucked up, man.
I know.
The Cyclops kids. The Scar band, that'd be fucking brilliant. Oh,
I'm on
I shouldn't laugh at
holiday
that.
in Chernobyl. Holiday in Chernobyl. Love. And now I got a bright green novel.
Yeah.
Well,
But
Yeah.
if we've got enough, if we put enough solar panels in the Sahara Desert, yeah,
You just
that could
share
power
it
the
out.
world.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
course it would. But we all know they have no interest in free
No.
energy. Come on, I've seen Spider-Man 2. Free sustainable energy for all is not...
That's it. We're linked to the petrodollar now, so
That's what happened to Tesla. Had Wi-Fi electric, basically.
Yeah.
And it working, he demonstrated it could work. They could just build these towers that would power cities wirelessly, free energy, and,
Didn't he
and he
bury-
ended up mental and penniless in a fucking hotel.
Didn't
so-
he bury light bulbs like so many thousand feet out and they all like lit up? And like that could be his future episode. Tesla definitely future episode.
He predicted Wi-Fi as well.
He did, yeah.
I read the quote literally talking about wireless communication. Everything will be wireless. We'll just broadcast it all. Because he was on another fucking level. He was what's his name that we've got to modern day, Musk, Elon.
Yeah.
He was Elon Musk times 50.
Oh,
But-
definitely times 50. Yeah.
Tangent.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So
We're good at them.
the EV takes delivery of a trolley full of boxes containing Guy Fawkes masks and costumes.
The same as what V's
Yeah,
fucking
basically
mask
V's
is.
costume.
Yeah.
And she has a bit of a chat with the security guard. He's watching some state-sanctioned kids show by the looks of it.
Oh no, it's
Superhero
called
show.
Laser Lass.
Storm Saxon and Laser Lass.
Laser Lass. Yeah. Which
Was
I
it
actually thought
Saxon?
looked. I'd watch Laser
I
Lass.
probably would, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah.
The TV screen's kind of cut out a little bit. V enters and he's wearing a bomb.
Wow.
So he makes his way through. He basically disarms the security guard.
shouts Allah Akbar.
I was literally trying to think of a Muslim joke in there somewhere. Well done, mate.
You know, for years I thought it was Alan's snack bar. Which
Advertising balance, snack bar.
That Alan's snack bar sounds fucking fantastic. All the Muslim blokes just shout about it.
The new explosive taste.
Oh, you're so gonna have a fucking fat war on you after this. Or maybe me too. All of us probably, to be fair.
Fuck you! I didn't say anything about that.
By association, mate, you're in. You're laughing.
Oh, man.
We take the piss out of every religion.
Yep, they all get their fair share.
It's free game on the internet, you know. And I don't think we've got any young people listening who get upset by this sort of thing. I think our listeners, I'm guessing, are around the same age as
I
us.
doubt there's many radical Islamists.
No! I don't think we have many 19-year-old campus activists because we'd have fucking heard from them by now.
Oh yeah,
We're big with ISIS, we are.
No, Mike, never say that. That's a fucking metadata thing you just flagged up straight there.
They've took a lot from the world ISIS have. I think their biggest crime is one of my favourite Bob Dylan songs is called Isis. It's a lovely song about a girl called Isis. It's a fucking amazing song, look it up, but you'd feel weird singing it now.
Yeah.
I married Isis on the 5th day of May.
Sure ISIS
I don't like the fact that Archer now can't have them all working
Yes.
at ISIS anymore.
I heard an amazing interview with the director. He's had to tell his dad, because they used to have, merchandise with ISIS written on it, caps and stuff. And his dear old dad loved his ISIS cap that he got from his son's TV show. And I having to explain to his elderly father that, like, you can't wear that down to the Veterans Club anymore.
Why can't he? He could be a veteran of ISIS. Why can't he go in there?
I'm proud of you, son. Like, no. This is my son's. You can't take it. I'm not taking it off. My son created ISIS. Oh, fuck.
That's why the last few episodes, it's been like different things. Like you've had the Archer Noir last season, and the Figgis Agency with the PIs before that, Archer Vice, and you can't have ISIS anymore. It's tragic.
Yeah.
They're taking that away from me.
Do you remember it wasn't ISIS? All of a sudden it was Daesh.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember when that changed? And then it went to ISIL.
ISIL, yeah. There was
And then they went to a bit of a Prince type thing where they were the organisation formerly known as ISIS.
And didn't they used to be the Taliban?
Many years ago, effectively, they were. They all the ones that got beat out of Afghanistan just went south and
originally they were the Mujahideen.
Originally the Mujahideen, trained by our special forces.
You can go back to the 80s where all this started.
So it's like when a professional wrestler has various different gimmicks through his career. It's still the same guy, but he's got different names.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
So if we explain everything to you like professional wrestling...
Yeah, yes. Then I can understand it on those terms.
Fantastic.
Simply.
Into a Via's come in wearing a bomb. Before we go into too much international politics, Via's got a bomb on him!
Hey!
And he dresses up the staff in the recording room, with the studio, in all the costumes, and he binds, cable ties them and gags them. And he addresses the nation. So so V is now put his DVD into the emergency broadcast system, and he is addressing the nation through literally every single television in the country.
Yeah. And there's a nice line, isn't there, where the guy's obviously talking to the Chancellor while the hack is happening.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You told me
that
this system goes on every single TV in the country, every home, So that's how V's managed. He is literally in.
Uses their weapon against them.
Yeah, he is in everybody's living room, on every public screen, and he gives them the following speech.
Now, why didn't Ashtar do that?
Yeah, that's my point with that whole damn thing.
Where's Brilliant?
Why didn't Really do that, eh?
That's
why
a
didn't
reference
really do that?
to the episode Southern Television Broadcast Interruption. Look that one up. You're right, though. Ashtar's got fuck all on.
Why only Kent? That was always my point with that.
Yeah.
Right, so... Good evening, London. Allow me first to apologise for this interruption. I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of everyday routine, the security of the familiar, the tranquility of repetition. I enjoy them as much as any bloke. But in the spirit of commemoration, whereby those important events of the past usually associated with someone's death or the end of some awful bloody struggle, a celebration of a nice holiday, I thought we could mark this November the 5th, a day that is sadly no longer remembered, by taking some time out of our daily lives to sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want to speak. I suspect even now orders are being shouted into telephones and men with guns will soon be on their way. Why? Because while the truncheons may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the meaning and, for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there?
Yeah.
Cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression.
Yeah.
And where once you had the freedom to object, to think and to speak as you saw fit, you now have censors and systems of surveillance coercing your conformity and soliciting your submission. How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only to look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you're afraid. Who wouldn't be? War, terror, disease. There are a myriad of problems who conspire to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you, and in your panic you turned to the now High Chancellor Adam Sutler. He promised you order. He promised you peace, and all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent. Last night I sought to end that silence. Last night I destroyed the Old Bailey to remind this country of what it has forgotten. More than 400 years ago, a great citizen wished to embed the 5th of November forever in our memory. His hope was to remind the world that fairness, justice and freedom are more than words, they are perspectives. So if you've seen nothing, if the crimes of this government remain unknown to you, then I would suggest you allow the 5th of November to pass unmarked. But if you see what I see, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then I ask you to stand beside me 1 year from tonight, outside the gates of Parliament, and together we shall give them a 5th of November that shall never, ever be forgot.
Well, I know for one thing I'd be fucking there for that speech. Wouldn't you?
Well, especially if it took over your TV as well.
Yeah. This dude in a Guy Fawkes mask has just turned up and basically said, your country's shit. It's not quite your fault, but it sort of is, and you need to put it right.
Yeah. I do like that element of this story that, now I don't know if I'm confusing the actual film and what I heard Alan Moore saying in an interview, but whereas, yes, he does let the people know that you do have some responsibility in this. You voted these people in, but then he also sympathises with, I know why you voted them in.
Yeah, fake
you were
news.
Manipulated into fearing and feeling that you need them.
That's what this film boils down to.
Yeah.
The choice between fear and love.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I think is...
It's central to the theme. It's just like you can either just fucking accept people, or you can fear what you're being told about the Muslims, about the gays, whoever they're bashing this week.
It's about perspective. It's you know, either everything you approach, you can approach two ways: fear or love.
Yeah.
Fear leads you down to this fucking nightmare.
Does it lead to the dark side?
Yeah.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate.
Hate leads to suffering. Of course, yeah.
But you're right. The great Mike. The great Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I know he said some good stuff. I just don't find his stand-up particularly.
Fear and love.
It comes down to a simple choice, yeah. Fear is bigger locks on your doors. He said, I'm paraphrasing massively, but it's protection. It's
Yeah, I got a little quote here if you want.
Go on up.
By someone called Elizabeth Kubler-Ross.
Mm-hmm.
There are only two emotions, love and fear. All positive emotions come from love. All negative emotions come from fear. From love flows happiness, contentment, peace and joy. From fear comes anger, hate, anxiety and guilt. It's true that there are only two primary emotions, love and fear, but it's more accurate to say that there is only love or fear, for we cannot feel these two emotions together at exactly the same time. They're opposites. If we're in fear, we are not in a place of love. When we're in a place of love, we cannot be in a place of fear.
This shows the level of my philosophical thinking, but that made me think of my dog.
Of WrestleMania. No, sorry.
That made me think of my dog. Right, your dog's an animal.
Yeah.
And it, if you didn't know, your dog simply works on those two basic emotions, doesn't it? Your dog is either in a state of anger and fear. Where does its anger come from? Fear, defence, protection, either itself or you, unfamiliar situation. Or they're content and full of love and happiness. Now, they don't have the mental apparatus to sit and contemplate why they're happy or sad and then need antidepressants. But
because they live in the moment.
Yeah, because they're fucking better than us. I think I've touched on this before. I fucking get extremely jealous of dogs.
I'm so jealous of my cat.
Yeah.
What a life he leads.
I know.
No worries. You know what I mean? He sleeps 18 hours a day. He's almost as much as me.
Almost.
I bought my dog round here the other week to pop up and see Mike for like half an hour. And I brought the dog up. And you compared him to a small horse. And then he
had a saddle on.
He's got a
saddle.
He's got a tactical harness on.
It's a saddle.
Yeah, you're not out hunting asylum seekers, are you?
No, I'm on the back of his dog.
With a Remington.
If I'm sat on Maximus,
bloody immigrants,
charge Maximus.
He is called Maximus, and no, it's a tactical. It's what the police use. But
he's a tactical dog.
He's a big dog, and he needs a harness that can.
It's got fucking saddles on.
It's got a hand grip, and Mike thinks that. But anyway. I left him here, and he just sat on the sofa and drooled. I was in the shop for 5 minutes.
Well,
he wasn't even anxious. He just sat there on the sofa enjoying himself.
Because Mike's a good dude.
Yeah.
Hey,
I gave him some cat treats. Now, the cat normally has about 2 or 3 in one go. He had about 20 or 30.
Yeah. Well,
it's fair that Max is 11 months old and weighs over 8 stone.
There you go. But they say that dogs and children are can be the best judges of character.
They are, and dogs are great judges of character.
Well, they're very honest with their response to people. But yeah, I totally agree with that. I've never heard it put quite simply like that. That there is basically, two root emotions.
I've got a quotation from the Prince by Machiavelli.
Oh, go on.
Oh, yes.
So,
this gives rise to an argument, whether it is better to be loved than feared, or the opposite. The answer is that one would like to be both, but since it is difficult to combine the two, it is much safer to be feared than loved. If one of the two has to make way, for generally speaking, one can say the following about men. They are ungrateful, inconsistent, feigners, and dissimulators, avoiders of danger, eager for gain, and whilst it profits them, they are all yours. They will offer you their blood, their poverty, their life, and their offspring when your need for them is remote. But when your needs are pressing, they turn away. The prince who depends entirely on their words perishes when he finds he has not taken any other precautions. This is because friendships purchased with money and not by greatness and nobility of spirit are paid for but not collected. And when you need them, they cannot be used. Men are less worried about harming somebody who makes himself loved than someone who makes himself feared. For love is held by a chain of obligation which, since men are bad, is broken at every opportunity for personal gain. Fear, on the other hand, is maintained by a dread of punishment which will never desert you. And I'm taking it then that the Prince Niccolo Machiavelli, that's where we get the term Machiavellian from, which is underhand and sneaky.
It's all about gaining power and staying in power.
I agree with that. I agree.
And this is perfect for this film. They use fear to control you.
And then V is saying, look, don't be fearful of these people. Yeah. It's a lie. What you're being told is a lie.
Yeah. Think for your fucking self.
Yeah, the government should fear the people shouldn't fear the government.
Yeah, that's exactly the quote from the film.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's a quote from the film. At some point, it's people shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Government should be afraid of their people, because at the end of the day, they should be there to do what we want. Yeah. Well, not all of us, because some of us are fucking lunatics. But
but in theory,
the majority.
Like 97% of Americans want gun control. 97%, but it doesn't get passed because the government isn't owned by the people; it's owned by corporations and the wealthy.
Actually, if we'd have had a reggae box this week, did you see the I can't remember her name, but the young girl who was 19-year-old girl, she's in high school, and her friends were shot. She did some interview and then a photo shoot of her ripping up a gun target poster. Yeah, the target you put down the range, and that was then photoshopped for her because I think she's possibly Latino or Hispanic as it is. Her skin was darkened and her nose was made broader, and circles on her eyes to make her look more Arabic, and she was ripping up the Bill of Rights.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The Constitution.
And people
that was
didn't
photoshopped,
know it was a Photoshop.
And of course that went out on Twitter, and it was retweeted.
I'm surprised Trump didn't fucking retweet it.
Now if you're going to stoop to that level of photoshopping a 19-year-old girl whose friends were gunned down around her, right? And she's calling for some, at least, not taking away guns, just some control on it. And if you're prepared to stoop to that level, what the fuck does that say about you?
Do you know what the ex-senator Rick Santorum said?
What?
He said instead of focusing on trying to ban guns, they should learn CPR to help their friends when they get shot.
For fuck's sake.
Which of course you wouldn't do if they were like chest wounds. You wouldn't perform CPR.
Yeah, we
let's
all
face
know
it
it comes down to the NRA and it look, back to try and link it back in, because that is all relevant, but I do like the fact that our hero V is not a gun wielding.
No, he uses
he's
knives.
a bit more of a gent in that way.
Of course, he's the quintessential gentleman. Although the police are all armed in this,
a more noble weapon.
A more noble weapon
for a more civilised time.
A more elegant weapon.
A more elegant. That's it. More elegant weapon
time.
for a more civilised time. Yes.
So the police V jams the doors using some kind of. It's not really explained in the film, but it kind of blows some foam out into the lock and stops them getting in periodically. Now he's put that on and he's in there in his costume. Everyone else is dressed as him.
I love this, how he gets out of this. It's
the
so
police break down the door eventually. Yeah. He's used the dry ice machines to flood the room with smoke. Yeah. And first guy that comes stumbling out of the thing,
so
out of the
did
smoke.
We make it clear that he's put his mask and outfit on.
He's outfitted everybody in that room.
Yeah.
So the first guy that stumbles out the smoke, the coppers have got itchy trigger fingers. They're looking for something. Bang, 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 bang. It's the security guard from the front desk.
Yeah.
I'm sure he says don't shoot, doesn't he?
He does say don't shoot, but it's just the hair trigger.
They're confused.
They're confused. The smoke, the strobe lighting going off. So that goes on, and in the end, the Detective Finch, who's the central police character of this film and part of the inner circle as well, actually makes this absolutely correct decision. Everyone in a mask, down on your knees.
Yeah.
Simple as everyone just get down. Don't come toward. Just sit down. I'm not me spit guard then. Sorry.
It's all good.
At that point, everyone's sort of filtering out. V is one of the last out. He's obviously they're all gagged. Got a ball in their nose. He then pretends to be a hostage. Well, he pretends to be a hostage.
Yeah.
And saying that guy's him. That's him. And then he isn't.
Yeah. So.
And they sort of get the mask off, realise it's just some dude with a rubber ball in his mouth, and then they turn around and V just sort of stands up and proceeds to go full on ninja with his knives, karate moving. It's pretty elegant, actually. It is very elegant.
Lovely.
It's beautifully choreographed.
It's violent, but it's lovely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Visually, it's like ballet.
And that is the thing with this one. It's beautifully done. It is beautifully filmed, I think, and you can see the Wachowski brothers.
You see their
it's not as beautiful as The Matrix.
No.
But you can see what they were trying to get at with with a fraction of the budget, I'd imagine. In all fairness.
Yeah.
And there are, it's good. It's artistry.
It's got a similar theme as The Matrix.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And then we get, because I was confused about the next bit as we get to V's making his way out. Is he a security guard or a policeman?
He's a policeman.
Policeman
I think he's Finch's
apprentice.
It's
his mate, innit?
Yeah. And he pulls the gun on V. V's got his back to him. He's about you'd say he's probably about 12 foot away or something.
Yeah.
He says, I'm surprised by London's finest response. And he says, we were quite Johnny on the spot, which I love that expression. And he says, we were here before you got started, chummy. Good, bad luck. Evie, who then encounters this scenario, taps the police on the shoulder and maces. He uses the mace spray.
Well, we know she's got mace because she threatens right at the start.
Yeah, she does. Of course, I should have mentioned that.
She threatens the fingerman. So we know she carries a mace for personal protection. And I was thinking now, do you think she maces the policeman out of a sense of she owes one to V?
I think
because she must be thinking. I don't think she
wants to see him gunned down because she saw he saved her life. She couldn't stand there and let it happen.
But she knows he blows things up. But I suppose it will become clear. Evie has reasons to be anti-government.
Yeah.
But at this point, I don't know if she is. But yeah, I just thought I like that she chose to help him.
Yeah. Well, I think she's kind of that feeling that he saved me from those guys, so he's not bad.
Yeah.
What he's just done, and she must have heard what isn't that bad. It is like, I agree with that. My pet, we'll get to do a pet by their parents.
Well, she's been shaken a little bit out of her comfort zone.
As she could,
attempted rape.
I was literally just about to say. So the fingermen are government agency as well. So are the police. if you were threatened with gang rape by fingermen the night previously, and then this guy had to save you, then maybe you might be a bit more like, well, they're all fucking government employees. Fuck them.
Maybe she was hoping that he kind of wouldn't recognise her when he's got that literal split second to remember her face, and she maces him in the eyes. She might have thought she could have got away with it.
This is the first part of her journey.
Exactly, yeah.
Where the film leads, because she goes on her own personal journey of discovery.
Of course, yeah. He smacks her across the face.
He knocks her out. Which, if he didn't knock her out, her story could be completely differently. But the fact is, after the macing, the officer manages to knock her unconscious. She hits the deck, and V.
It's explained a bit later on by Finch when he's watching the security camera footage. What's he thinking there? And he goes, does he leave her? And then, but V does take her
with him
and puts her to bed, and I don't know, washes her wound.
Which I assume is quite a big move for him.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a recluse for 20 years.
It's like Batman taking someone back to the fucking Batcave. It's a big. You're right.
Exactly.
It's not a small. He probably didn't take that decision lightly. His whole plan, his masterminded, meticulous plan, which is a year long.
20 years planned out.
And right there, this could be the thing that fucks it. But I guess this is showing he still has some humanity.
Well, that's because love. He chooses love.
Yeah. There you go. Very nice. So, what's the next? I can't think. They literally cut to him.
It comes to the policeman pulls his gun and he's maced and he smacks Evie out. V picks her up. What it goes to then is that everything goes blank on all the TVs across London. And remember, there was a picture of Chancellor Sutler in every single home in London, and the old people's home, and the pub, and anywhere there's a TV, there's a picture of him next to it. It'll be like that in Gaz's compound.
Hey, £2.50.
I did read your manifesto.
And you haven't killed yourself, so that's a good point.
It's very interesting.
He hasn't killed himself yet.
It's funny. It's very nihilistic.
Well, that's kind of the point. Is that I'm asking for money in exchange for the worst advice, which is why I may have rethought my plan to distribute.
I kind of think it's just a part one, is it?
Oh, it definitely runs out of steam towards the end.
No, because there's no sort of. You're saying everything's shit. There's no solution.
The solution is, give me the money.
Come to my compound.
No. You're fundamental. I don't want to meet anybody.
But it's going to happen.
I don't want to communicate.
They'll want to meet you.
My address is nowhere on the internet.
It doesn't matter. They'll want to meet you.
No.
You're the guy that's giving them their new outlook on life. You're the guru. They're going to want to meet you. They are.
I think I'm going to have to clarify.
They're going to pilgrimage to you.
Exactly.
This may be
an order of knights set up to escort them to there.
This may be a joke that has got a little bit out of hand. But it is a joke. It's an elaborate joke. And as long as we all remember that, and that I don't actually believe myself to be of any kind of spiritual leader.
We just enjoy taking the piss out the idea.
But you know.
I like it, and if you can get me, if it kicks off.
What you write is very, very real. It's very certain.
It's exactly. What I want is, if it does take off, I want some kind of position of power within it. With my own harem. That's not too much to ask.
I would advise you then, Ben, to stop ripping it.
No, because if it succeeds via my cynicism,
no, it's not
worth
it. It's going to succeed on its own merits or lack thereof. And
so my cynicism.
www.lulu.com/. I've forgotten the link. But anyway, you'll find it. I have filmed an advert, a couple of adverts and a sermon.
Where you look very much like a cult leader. With sunglasses and Hawaiian shirt.
Well, that was the joke. You said.
I know,
When I first mentioned it, Ben said this is going to end up with him in sunglasses in a compound. So I put on some sunglasses and I made a video. And I might link them through the page if, We'll see. Anyway, we're tangenting now. But thanks for reading it, Mike.
That's all right.
Where's the fucking money? You get a compliment.
Send me your fucking money! You turned a bobcat off. And to be fair, in that photo, in that video with the song.
Well,
yeah, maybe. Anyway, let's go back to the film. V takes Evie to his home. He's underground, he's in some chambers, It's called the Shadow Gallery, which is a fucking pretty metal name, let's face it.
That's cool.
Shadow Gallery! It's fair to say that V is a bit of a culture vulture. Loves his artwork, loves his music. Everything in there is taken from government censorship depots, stuff the government's banned because it might provoke free thought or anything like that. All from government censors. Now Evie now starts to regret the decision to mace the policeman. You know?
Well,
as V is making her breakfast and he does have his gloves off, and you see the fact that he has obviously been very badly burnt at some point.
Beauty is a rock in a cop's face.
Hey!
Was that Kurt Cobain?
No idea.
Me? I don't know. I do not know.
Can I give you a little insight, and it is related to the movie?
I don't actually condone throwing rocks in cops' faces.
We kind of do, but no. We don't.
Depends
when the revolution comes.
If they're crooked cops, maybe.
Yeah. Crooked cops when the revolution comes, that's okay.
A little insight into my home life. When we watched this yesterday, the eggy bread, the eggy in the hole,
eggy in the basket.
Now, I'm going to admit to you that I'd never eaten that before, and I saw it in the movie, and I was like, how'd you get the egg in the bread? That's amazing. And the owner's like, that's eggy in the bread.
I've never had it.
I've never had it. So this morning,
you did do it.
This morning she made it, and it was amazing. It's fried bread with fucking egg in
it.
It
looks lovely. It looks lovely.
It is. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've never had it.
No,
man.
If I wasn't completely stoned and I couldn't be arsed, I would have made it after film.
It's really simple. You cut a hole in the bread.
Oh wow!
Crack an egg in the middle of it.
Even I can manage that.
Fry the fucker. And V's did look good, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm really sorry, boys, but I'm going to have a wee.
Alright, fair enough. We can pause that. Right, and we're back. So V basically informs Evie that she's got to stay in the Shadow Gallery for a year because he can't risk her getting out. And he said, well, if you were picked up, you know what the colour of the brickwork, you know what the colour of a stone is. That's enough for an educated man.
Yeah.
You know I'm underground. You know what the colour of the stone is. That's enough. They'd know where I am. We then cut to Finch and his assistant discussing Evie Hammond and her background. And it says that her parents were interred at Belmarsh, which is a prison in the UK. Still a prison. It's just a conventional prison, but we're assuming in this dystopian future it's a particular political prison, maybe.
It's a female prison, isn't it, Belmarsh?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. No, I don't know.
But the mother dies in a hunger strike. And the father died when the military put down a riot. So the military to go in armed into a prison riot in this country would be a very big thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen the undercover videos of the private prisons in this country?
No.
I dread. They have a cocaine in the cells, I think.
This one bloke opens his cupboard, he's got weed just stacked.
Fuck, man.
What the fuck? What? They just go to the fence and just wait for some guy just to chuck the drugs over the fence, catch it, and
they use drones, I've heard, in this day and age to deliver things to prisons.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, they usually fly it over the fence, drop the.
Yeah, but in this private prison, so understaffed that they just can't watch everything. So they're just waiting for the guards up to see, and just someone throws it over.
Oh man,
it's fucking insane.
I'm gonna go to prison tomorrow.
And what's that really strong synthetic cannabis?
Oh fuck, the spice.
Yeah, they're all taking that. And you're watching the videos, all the guys fucking having fits.
They need to take the word cannabis out of that.
Yeah.
It's synthetic something, but it ain't. It does not replicate the fucking
pleasant gentle buzz.
It absolutely does not. I've watched a lot of videos of people. I saw a kid start fucking exorcist style vomiting and shitting whilst unconscious, just in a chair at a party. Everyone's like, oh god, oh, the people filming, fuck, and it's like he's doing bongs on
the
spice.
People are switching people's joints with this spice that they don't like
for a laugh,
just for a laugh, and they're filming it.
God,
on their phone.
That's the lowest form of human behaviour.
You
can't stop someone's joint for something.
There's like up to 100 inmates, just fucking around, just pissing about in all the cells. Do you know what I mean? Just taking drugs and gambling and all this shit.
Well, that's not like the prisons in V's day, I can tell you that much.
And the prison guards are too scared to go in there.
Of course.
Because they're private, they're on minimum wage.
Yeah, there's about 3 of them to guard 100 men.
But you know what's going to fix it, mate?
No prisons.
Brexit. It's going to fix everything, isn't it?
Hey, when I get that blue passport, my life will be made.
I was going to say, aren't I suddenly going to be massively well hung when Brexit happens?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what they promised.
I'm going to be a millionaire.
You know the Dutch, yeah?
Mm.
They've got so much space in prisons they've had to import it from Norway.
Import prisoners?
Yeah, from Norway. Yeah, because their crime rate is so low. Because they don't punish people, they help them.
Yeah.
They give them qualifications, help them back into work. You know what I mean? If it's a serious crime, then like murder and that, you go to prison. But
Well, obviously.
minor crimes.
Do they still have the death penalty? Didn't that Anders Breivik, maybe Sweden, didn't he get the death penalty? But he's
No.
Is he life in prison?
He's enjoying his time. But the problem with that model is, where do you get your free labour from?
Exactly. Where do you get your slave labour from, Mike?
Well, yeah.
Should we go back to
Yeah.
the movie
We're all,
review?
we're all slaves in this capitalist model.
So Evie's parents were killed at Belmarsh. Her mother died in the hunger strike. The father died in the military. Retook the prison. Her brother died at St Mary's, which is alluded to for the film, but it was a primary school that was the first site of a so-called terrorist attack in the UK. And that's what the terrorist, that violent attack basically set up Chancellor Sutler and his Norse Fire Party to win the next election and to impose this state upon the UK, this Christian right-wing state. We then cut to Mr. Prothero, the voice of London, as you mentioned before, who I want to punch in the face because he did play the part damn well. But he's in his private quarters that they use him at the BTN in the tower, and he's showering, he's listening to his own...
Yes. Did he remind either of you of Alex?
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Totally.
His style of delivery, just one man with a microphone in a studio.
I'm a God-fearing American.
Yeah.
It could have been Alex Jones, effectively.
It really was.
And it wouldn't surprise you if
Alex was inspired by this.
No, if he was in 2005, would he be inspired
Alex was
by Alex?
way before then.
Yeah,
he
was going in 90s.
Infowars was... Can you remember? I can remember back in the early days of my enlightenment, where Infowars to me was this cool, like...
I thought, this is interesting.
Yeah,
It was the first video I saw, and it called Infowars. Oh, what's this Infowars? Went on it, and it must have been I watched stuff for about 2 days, and then I just thought, nah, this is just fucking right.
I listened to a couple of podcasts by Alex Jones, and at one point he was even like, I can't remember what topics they were, but I selected them because I was more interested in them than the others. And it was like, alright, so he's going on about this, that's fine, yeah. Okay. He's a bit mental, but alright.
Thing is,
and then all of a sudden,
we're on
about some bloke dressed as Osama bin Laden crossing from the Mexico to the US border and just topping over a little creek or something. And you're like, oh wait, actually, you're a bit of a cunt, aren't you? You're just using this as a platform to further your own racist agenda. Of course, yeah.
He starts with the truth, hooks you in, and then he distorts it into his own perverse fucking political message.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this guy in the movie, it's exactly
Prothero.
the same.
Yeah.
Prothero. It really did. The way it's shot, the way his studio, it just really reminds me of Alex's current.
Yeah.
Just the lone man with the microphone.
Yeah. And he says, as well as when he's on about earlier, the American food shipments that arrived, he said we should have a little Boston Tea Party of our own and go down there and throw that crap over the side and tell them to go fuck themselves. Yeah. And it's all very nationalistic and very British. And it's exactly the same shit that Nigel fucking Farage puts on fucking Twitter.
That's kind of...
I reckon that is what his show's like, Farage Against the Machine. That is what...
Yeah, it is. I've seen clips of it.
Have you seen clips of it?
Yeah, I have, because I follow him on Twitter and I troll him mercilessly.
Does it sound like that guy then, yeah?
It's not far off. It essentially is, but not as aggressive.
Yeah, because it's more aggressive in America. You've got Rush Limbaugh and Bill
he had the nerve to do some video for the RAF's 100th anniversary, and I thought, well, you cunt. You know, you take that, you know, you're taking that to further your own little gain. And
it's kind of a feature of dystopian stories, isn't there? The sort of lone voice, the one television station that permeates in the background through everything, just the one channel, the one voice that you get to hear. It's in a lot of these, you see it a lot in comic books, and it's done really well here, because you hate this guy.
Oh, immediately.
And the whole thing of seeing him back to where we are in the plot line is
He's in the shower.
He's in the shower listening to himself, mouthing along the
actually, he's actually on the phone at the start.
To
He's
the
saying,
lighting.
because the boom mic drops into the shot briefly, and he's like, "Oh, you fire that fucking paddy," and you assume he's like,
what was the lighting on his nose?
I don't know,
it's something about you making my nose look like.
Yeah, he's on. He calls him a paddy, which in the UK is a derogatory term for an Irish person.
It says fire the OP, which is the DP. OP.
It's not DP, Mike. I can tell you what that is.
DP is the director of photography.
That's what he's
I thought DP was double penetration.
It is in the porn world, yes.
Oh, right. That's the first one that sprang to mind.
And DAVA is double anal, double vaginal, but, or DADV, either way. Moving on.
DVDA?
DVDA.
Yeah, the name of man trace band.
Anyway, V...
T-Rex, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Orgasmo? The South Park guys?
Yeah.
So Prothero's in his private clothes in the shower. V uses Evie's pass badge thing, because it must scan, to get in there. And addresses him as Commander Prothero, who then falls on his arse in the shower, which I also found quite amusing. Because bear in mind, I hate this cunt at this point. I really do. Turns out that Commander Prothero was at the Lark Hill Detention Centre where he met V years ago, and they have a shared history. That's what's alluded to at this point. He kills him. You don't see him make the kill, but it cuts kind of to Prothero in the shower on his back. And there is a stream of vomit out the side, and there's a rose on his chest.
Someone needs to explain this to me, that the bodies V leaves behind. That was vomit, was it?
I assumed it was. They all had a massive stream of vomit, apart from the... Well, we'll get to her shortly, but they all had this big stream of vomit.
Does he infect them with something?
He poisons them with something,
The blade?
No, I don't. I think it literally it's an injection or something like that. I think possibly something that was used. It would make sense knowing V's future story that it all ties in later on, doesn't it? But the St Mary's attack, biology attack, and they were trying to in Lark Hill, this kind of deeper security kind of thing, and they were injecting people with resistance drugs and all sorts of chemical cocktails to almost, you don't know whether it's kind of a super soldier program or maybe it's something to do with the disease itself. You're never quite made aware, because the doctor later on says, I've got my first batch of subjects and I'm really excited, and you get the feeling that she's looking at it through this is a scientific experiment and I'm a budding scientist and this will make my reputation if it works kind of vibe off her. Well, I certainly do. I don't know about you guys. Prothero, you got the feeling, was just there as part of the military, and you find out in short when Finch and his assistant are going through that he'd been in Syria twice, he'd been in Iraq, and he was like this. He was a military commander, but obviously one who was also one of the richest men in the country, because he owned a lot of money in pharmaceutical stock, which after the St Mary's attack obviously went through the roof. It's biodoxic pharmaceuticals, which had the antidote for the St Mary's attack in a week.
Right.
Now, Evie and V are watching the news report on Prothero's death. The voice of London is dead. They paint as a heart failure. I wrote V kills Prothero in brackets, yay. Exclamation. It leaves Rose in the body, of course. But the guy who's the head of the BTN is in there going, oh, what should we call it? A stroke. No, that's too violent. That sounds too violent.
Yeah.
And it was then heart failure. And Evie and V are sat there watching the news story, and she goes, oh, she's lying. And he says, how do you know? And she says, oh, because when she blinks a lot when she knows she's doing a story that isn't true. It was heart failure, and he worked such long hours, and he was a stalwart of the BTN.
Yeah. So she, being inside, she knows that...
She knows it's bullshit.
Yeah.
But she's been told to report what she's
she's been complicit. She's been complicit.
Of course. So we've alluded to Finch Prothero finding out that Prothero's the richest man in the country. V turns to Evie at this point and says, the violence can be used for good. Justice. There's no court for men like Prothero. And that is a valid point. You won't agree with that.
No, I don't.
I do. You can't take the richest man in the country to court.
Well,
because he just buys
in his
look at OJ and Michael Jackson.
Any human being can be helped.
Well,
where there's life, there's chance. You kill him, he's got no chance, has he?
He's got no chance anyway. He's a fucking sociopath.
Yeah, they shouldn't be held to the same.
You know, he's blatant. He's part of the
he
same.
He just needs re-educating.
What, like Clockwork Orange style?
But not the violence. It's just puppy and love.
He is a shareholder.
It's the opposite to Clockwork Orange. Why not?
But he's a shareholder in Biodoxic Pharmaceuticals who had the cure for a major chemical attack in a country which killed 80,000 people.
He's a shit.
Right?
We get it.
So, and he obviously gave his consent to that to happen because he held the stock in that, so he had prior knowledge, so he had the antidote already. And you're saying that, you know what, I'd just cut that cunt's throat. But you'd have gone, nah, you know, let's re-educate him.
Forgive them for they know not what they do.
Oh, fuck you, Jesus. It's worth pointing out that the military won't admit to Larkill. They say the records are missing or amended.
Well,
how many missing files?
That's come up on the show numerous times in numerous subjects, hasn't it? Redacted or missing files.
Always.
You know.
I think the guy actually says like, oh, they
misplaced accidentally.
They were
in the furnace accidentally.
I think it's just they were difficult times and we all did what we had to do. I think the officer in charge
he's just trying to justify that.
Fascism. I'll give you a brief quote from Mr. Moore himself. I was going to try his accent then, but I'm not. He's got a West Midlands accent 'cause he's from Northampton. Way back in the early 80s, when I was first kicking off writing V for Vendetta for the English magazine Warrior, the story was very much a result of me actually sitting down and thinking about what the real extreme poles of politics were. Because it struck me that simple capitalism and communism were not the two poles around which the whole of political thinking revolved. It struck me that two much more representative extremes were to be found in fascism and anarchy. So,
it's just puzzling me. You read that exactly like the character V portrays later on, William Rockrod.
Representative extremes.
And that character was based to look a little bit like Alan Moore.
Oh, was it? But he had a northern accent.
He did. He had the northern accent and the big beard and the glasses, and apparently that was
way back
Alan Moore. Even though he'd had his name
taken
taken off it, that was a little bit of a tribute.
Representative extremes were to be found.
You wouldn't take anyone seriously telling you that in that accent, would you?
Fascism.
That bloody fascism, I tell thee.
I tell me what, anarchy. That's the way forward, lad. Anarchy.
I call me whippet anarchy.
Oh shit! Did you see that little? It was brilliant. It was English rugby fans before they played New Zealand, and they were doing it. It's called the Yorkshire Hacker.
No, I didn't.
You know what the new they were like, "Where's me whippet?" It was fucking brilliant.
I'm pretty sure that the hacker ends up with basically telling them you're going to stuff their genitals in their mouth.
Pretty much. But back to V. But that'll come up again later is one of Alan's problems with the movie version, but it's supposed to be about anarchy and fascism. But he seems to think that the movie... Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So, this is all part of...
Evie's going to tell V about what her parents did to sort of...
So if you haven't got it by now, at this point in the film, you're seeing that the news agency, the police, the fingermen, are all part of the same. Everybody is all on the same page, all
part of the same organism.
Yeah, being led by the High Chancellor, and they're fascist.
Yeah,
and
effectively.
And
it's the UKIP fucking paradise. This shit is.
It really is.
Brexit. And that's the Tory paradise and the right wing Tory paradise.
Oh yeah.
And Sutler did start off as a Tory, a deeply religious Tory. Does that remind you of anyone in our current parliament? A deeply religious Tory? That's him! Yeah. That cunt from the 19th century. That's the one. Well, apologies to our foreign listeners. You do a bit of Google research and you'll figure out who that twat is.
Mr. Moore says, just very briefly, because I like this, I've never thought of it this way. Fascism is complete abdication of personal responsibility.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You are surrendering all responsibility for your own actions to the state.
Yep.
On the belief that there is, in unity, there is strength.
Yeah,
so all these people...
that explains your death camp, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, everyone...
They know best.
They know best. I'm doing it for the state.
Yeah.
There you go.
Those finger men were going to rape Evie.
For the good of the
For the
state.
good of the state. Because she shouldn't have been out after fucking
And
curfew.
she'll learn her lesson after that.
Yeah.
We're not going to beat her or arrest her. She'll have a clean criminal record, but she'll have a fucking sore orifices in the morning.
She'll think twice.
That's exactly what they say, pretty much.
She'll think twice about breaking curfew.
Exactly.
So our mate V, yes, he might be blowing up buildings and attacking police officers.
Pretty coolly, let's face it.
Yeah, but he's very much, he's got reasons.
Yeah.
He's
got
got
a motive.
justifications. Yeah.
And the motives have been sown in these early stages. You find him all over at Lark Hill and eventually and the fact that people were just basically shot by the government for not agreeing with what the government wanted them to.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, so we move to V's next target at this point, which is a bit of a deviant pedo priest. Who was an overseer at Lark Hill.
Do you mean a priest?
I was going to say it.
Well, I thought I'd add that bit in just so, it is Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
They're not all bad. Maybe. Allegedly.
Allegedly,
Who knows?
not all bad.
Allegedly. But he was father, now bishop, so he's been promoted. Linneman, he was the highest paid person at Lark Hill. I think they said in the film it was £270,000 a year. And he was there to look at human rights abuses. So he turned a blind eye and got paid. And got
Reminds
paid.
me of the hypocrisy with Tony Blair.
So Bishop Linneman is about to leave on a sort of churchy kind of trip. Before he goes, he'd like a young girl to have sex with. Yeah. So V basically arranged it so that Evie is disguised as said young girl. He infiltrates the church. Like, cool scene where he jumps over the rooftop, slides down the sides. I believe it's St. Paul's Cathedral. And but she tries to dob him in after some kind of rapey antics from the bishop.
Yeah.
She tries to dob V in. She's like, I can still get out of this.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with me. Sadly, the priest thinks this is part of some kind of sex game.
Yeah.
And when V does show up, the bishop just says, "Oh my God, you were telling the truth."
Yeah. You
she
can't
turns to
blame
V
her
and
at
says,
this point.
No.
"Yeah, you can't. She's like,
She's been told she's his prisoner for a year, and regardless of him saving her life, that's not a very nice prospect, is it?
No.
So you can't really blame her. Plus, she's been sent as bait for a pedo.
Yeah, and she's dressed up very young. I mean, Natalie Portman, not the large-breasted of women, female actresses.
Yeah.
I mean, she's dolled up like a little, kind of not quite a Barbie doll, but almost like a. It's a weird kind of look, actually.
Well, she was in that film with a Frenchman. What was he called? It was like Lolita, wasn't it? He was a hitman.
Leon.
Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, I love that movie.
Shit, yeah.
Oh my God, I love that film.
But she's certainly dolled up to look very young.
Present from Matilda. Boom! What a movie. If you haven't seen that.
Great movie.
Yeah, she's dressed up to look fucking underage.
Like a schoolgirl, like a little, almost like a primary school girl.
Well, the bishop is concerned that she's going to be too old.
Yeah, of course.
She's dressed like a hyper-sexualized cheerleader.
Yes,
type.
a hyper-sexualized young cheerleader. I think is the best way to describe that. Yeah, you're right. It's
she's clearly dressed to look like that, and and Bishopy boy, he's pretty happy about this.
He loves that,
and you can't blame it for trying to dub V in. But like you said, then so V comes in and Bishop is fuck. Like,
fuck, she was telling the truth.
Oh shit.
And V turns and says, "Evie," and she's like, "I'm sorry," and just runs.
Yeah.
That point, the bishop reaches into a. And if I was, a bishop, I would want a gun and a book.
Yes.
I would. I just would. He reaches in, pulls out a gold, it's called a gold chased pistol. There's gold chasing along it. It's an engraving thing, and shoots at V. I don't know if he hits. You never.
No, I think V grabs hold of him.
Yeah, he shoots, but he does grabs hold, and you're never quite sure if he hits him or not. And the bishop pleads for mercy.
Again, I think it's inclined in the film visually that V moves with super speed.
I think that's what he dodges the bullet.
Average.
Yeah,
he moves a lot quicker than your average.
At that range, you really couldn't miss. He was literally so I think he sort of does. Yeah, I think that's implied that his superpowers as such. I do like the way that it was never kind of just stated like the Captain America film. Like, oh yeah, he's going to be bigger, stronger, faster, he'll heal quicker, he'll metabolise faster, etc., etc. You don't know what he's got.
No.
He's
Well, it's a man of mystery.
He's a man of mystery, exactly. And we all love a man of mystery.
We do.
Do we?
We were all fans of the Milk Tray Man at some point, Gaz.
Well, it was a man of mystery who left you anally bleeding and confused after the Christmas work party.
No one said bleeding or anally.
And then just left a tray of milk tray next to him.
All I know is that no one gave me a reach around and I had no anal bleeding, therefore aliens. That's what I'm going with.
It was an international man of mystery. It was like, oh, he's so dreamy.
You open it up and it's just a used condom inside.
Oh my, it was a box of Milk Tray.
At least he's rubbing up.
Well, he's a professional.
Back to the movie review.
Back to the movie. Hey, the surveillance team who were looking over, presumably all sort of, because he's in the bishop's kind of, he's not quite the inner circle, but he's the head of the, not quite, well.
He's involved.
He's involved in he's a high churchman in this very deeply Christian state.
Yeah.
The surveillance team seem to know he likes kids.
I just say that's fascism. That's what fascism is, the mergence of government and religion.
Yep. Of course.
Well, there's supposed to be a separation, isn't there, between church and state.
So Bishop Lennon is then left on the floor with a stream of vomit at the side of his mouth, and he's very dead, and he's been left with a rose.
And anal bleeding.
From a knife, I assume. Creedy shows up at this point on the crime scene. He was the head of the secret police, the fingermen and such, and implies that Finch may not want to catch V so much because his mother was Irish. Regardless of Finch says, well, I've been a party member for 27 years. Your mother was Irish, kind of thing. So it's implying he's not entirely trusted because he's not of an English bloodline.
I see.
Weirdly, it's not what's recorded. Because Finch does have a, I wouldn't say purely English accent in this.
You're a John Hurt character.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of a northern twang, hasn't he?
I don't know. You know, but it's interesting that you might be a party member, but you're not quite pure. So maybe you're not making the effort you should be, kind of thing going with it. So then Evie does actually make it to Dietrich's house, because that's where she's. She knows that she can probably trust him. I mean, she was going to go there for that night, and they did meet, and she said, "Oh, I got, collared by fingermen, and I had to go home." And he's like, "Oh, well, it's okay." She goes to his house, and it turns out that he's got quite a bit of contraband himself. A picture of Sutler as the Queen called, is it God Save the Queen? And it was banned. He's got a Quran.
Yeah, he does.
And she's like, are you Muslim? No, I just appreciate the artwork and the poetry. Yeah. And he's also got some homoerotica on his wall.
He says to her though, doesn't he?
He's a gay man, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gay. He is gay.
If the police were to come, you would be the least of my worries, trust me.
Yeah.
Which is why later on, I suppose jumping ahead slightly, but where they assume he's been taken to prison and they're like, oh no, he was executed. Yeah. It's because of the Quran.
Yeah, the Quran. And probably the homoerotica on his wall as well.
But apparently that was the biggie for him to have because think about it now, in this fictional world, it's a religious state, it's Christian, right wing, and so that Quran is even more
blasphemous.
Fucking, yes.
It's
it's
the
not
worst
only
crime.
Illegal, so that's worse than him harbouring a fugitive, worse than having Evie with him was having that Quran, and that shows that he trusts her, that he takes it into the inner sanctum, Stephen Fry's character, and shows her this stuff that he's got, so he must trust her.
Oh yeah.
But you then find out that he's not got any romantic interest towards
her.
Because I think it's implied that they were going on a date.
I know he's got. It's implied that basically he's expected to entertain attractive young ladies at his home, but he is very gay. I mean, he's got homoerotica on the wall of his inner sanctum.
He's Stephen Fry.
Oh yeah.
Great casting.
He kind of admits to her that he's a homosexual because he says, "Well, if we wanted, we could have. Then I wouldn't be in a job."
Yeah.
And he says that if you wear a mask for so long, you forget who you are underneath it.
Very important.
Yeah, which is quite a quote related to V in a way. He's worn a mask.
Yeah.
He doesn't know who he is anymore. That's implied.
Yeah.
It applies to everybody.
Yeah. But then we skip to the autopsy of Bishop Lenehan, and the doctor, the coroner, the chief City London coroner, identifies the rose as Scarlet Carson, which is believed to be extinct. And all the people who've been killed, have been left with that rose. Custer Finch then, basically says to her, well, look into it, see what you got. And he finds out that all the people in charge at Lark Hill have been killed apart from the head doctor. Who we find out is the coroner. Her name is Delia Sturridge, or she was Dr. Diana Stanton. She changed her name by Deepole and tried to leave the country. She seems to have genuinely kind of shown some remorse for what she's done. She's realised what she was wrong.
Yeah.
And when V does break in to kill her, and she literally wakes up with the journal. She took her journal out of bed and read through it again, so as in a final act of contrition. And she says, well, are you going to kill me now? He says, well, I killed you 10 minutes ago while you slept.
Yeah.
And she apologises. You know, I am. Is it worth this? To say I'm sorry. It's never worth this to apologise.
Yeah, I like that line.
I don't understand why he still kills them.
Because she did it. She was at the time. She made him what he is.
But he did it because she says
because she apologises. She shows remorse for it. Well, he gives her the non-vomity death and just gives her the nice.
Once he explains to her that I killed you 10 minutes ago, she says, "Will there be pain?" And he says, "No." And she's like, "Oh, thank you." So he is showing her some remorse in a way.
Scant, isn't it?
Yeah. But you know, she says herself, "I always knew you'd come. I always knew this." She knows she did wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not justifying her murder.
No. But then does he become just as bad as them?
Well, he argues that they were.
That's why it's got to be non-violent. But go on.
But he argues that vengeance is coming and there's no court for people like that because they could just buy their way out of it.
Well, yeah, you got to fix the system first.
Yeah, but
and it'd be really shit boring film if he tried to rehabilitate all these people.
If he'd have just had to sit down with Louis Prothero and told him that his politics were wrong, it would have been a terrible film.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed it.
So we cut to the doctor's journal, Dr. Diana Stanton, and basically inmates being herded into Lark Hill. They're in your orange kind of what's that? What was it? No. Oh, Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, jumpsuit.
They're in the jumpsuits and they wore their heads shaved.
I did read somewhere online that was intentionally to invoke the imagery of Guantanamo because it was 2004, the time the film was being made. There were a lot of people under the Patriot Act being arrested for no reason.
There's still people there that haven't been charged.
So this
they haven't been charged, let alone...
Yeah, just accused.
They're in waterboarded though, allegedly.
And played Barney theme song.
Oh God, I'd crack after that. If you played Barney at me for 24 hours, I'd crack.
And anal force feeding.
Oh, I beg your pardon?
That's what they did, isn't it?
I never heard of that band.
To stop... Is that to starve hunger striking? Like,
they did, possibly.
You know what I mean?
But
why else are you forcing it in the anus? Just let them
because they're cruel bastards, that's why. Yeah.
I did see something. I couldn't verify the officialness of this story, but I did see something recently about apparently there is video evidence, photographic evidence of them raping young men, while like female soldiers watched on. Like everyone just sat around having a gay old time while...
It was the pictures at Abu Ghraib, wasn't it?
That was the big ones, yeah.
And they're all naked, piled up, and...
Yeah,
they're
the ones
triangle and
yeah, that's the stuff that actually made it out. But I was looking at one the other day. I was like, "Is this fake news or not?" Apparently, it's a video of a rape. But yeah, so yeah, that is directly back to the movie. The fact that they're in those orange jumpsuits and things, it is directly a sort of reference to Guantanamo. And I did hear Alan Moore talking about how that all sci-fi, it's set in a future world, but it's always talking about the present.
I
the
agree,
issues that have been faced in this fictional future world are usually all allegory and metaphors for the present. So that puts into a little bit of context, I suppose.
Yeah, and V does say to her, I've not come for what you hoped to do, I came for what you did. So it's like, I don't care what you hoped to do or what your ambitions were, and I don't care that you show remorse. What you did, you can't be forgiven for.
And what was done to him was unspeakable.
Exactly. And we cut to the journal being read as a flashback where inmates are being herded in, and she says of the original 4 dozen, over 75% are deceased within 3 weeks. And you see a shot of things being tossed into a mass grave and quicklime being herded over them. And it's like basically like a Holocaust sort of.
You don't want to be caught tossing into a mass grave.
You don't. But the man in room 5. Oh, whoa.
Sorry, that's quite dark.
Only your worst Serbian war criminals do that. And probably
you gotta be some kind of evil bastard.
And probably that evil chick from Auschwitz.
Mass grave, but
I'd imagine that evil chick from Auschwitz did. Oh man, she was well, that's a future episode. If we look at historical personalities,
being able to just get it up in the presence of
so
one
many
dead
bodies.
person, let alone a pile.
But once he gets turned on by the smell of death.
Oof, wow. Well, who doesn't?
It's dark.
Me, it has to be specifically the smell of a dead sheep. Yeah, dead people just don't do it for me.
That's the Welshness.
It's in my DNA. It's tradition.
Who can argue? That's what the Brexiteers want, guys.
Exactly.
Tradition.
He isn't happy unless his hot balls up against a woolly back.
Well,
he likes the sheep to be so cold his balls hiss as they release them.
Well, this will be a joke that only the British listeners will get. Do you remember the game Scatch?
No. Oh yeah, the ball.
You would hold a paddle,
Velcro pad,
Velcro, and then a fluffy tennis ball.
That's
Someone
right.
would throw it, and you would catch it with the Velcro pad.
It was like a really
I have the world's biggest stockpile of Scatch mitts. Do you know why?
Why?
One on each hand. That sheep's going nowhere. Google Scatch mitts.
Oh man. Off Manchester side onto Scatch mitts.
We went from wanking over a mass grave to fucking a sheep. Now back to the movie review.
Back to the movie
Not
review.
scat mitts.
Not Scatch mitts. But according to the doctor's journal, the man in room V, Roman numeral 5, the tests prove he has increased reflexes and strength. So that is the kind of hint that he's gained something from whatever they were trying to do from him.
Yeah.
Then on November the 5th that year, 5 explosions destroy the facility. The man from room V escapes through the flames and presumably horribly burnt in the process.
Well, we get the image of him stood there in flames, screaming to the heavens.
Yeah. What they had done, and I remember this in the comics, is that because the man from room 5 had shown, even though he couldn't remember who he was, who his family were, or anything else like that, he had shown this aptitude for gardening.
Right.
And he started growing the roses, the scarlet carsons, and this is always the comics.
Yes.
And so therefore they let him have fertilizer, which he then made into a bomb to blow up the research facility.
Yeah.
So that's how he escaped.
And it's hinted at that in the movie as well, because you see all the fertilizer he's used to make the big bomb at the end. It literally says on it, British fertilizer.
100% fertilizer, British. That's how we have to Brexit. Everything you buy will have the word British 100% on it, I'll guarantee you.
God, even my pasta.
Even your pasta.
Oh. That seems daft.
Or you'll pay a massive import tax on it.
Oh, God.
You have to drink British wine.
Oh, fuck.
Well, as I'm not a class traitor and don't drink wine, I'm quite happy.
Spoken like a true Brexiteer.
Oh, I'm not though.
I know, I'm just...
So V has killed the paedophile priest. Evie has escaped to Gordon Dietrich, who we find out is a sort of the prime time TV guy. Like Mike said earlier, he's a bit like Jim Davidson, Big Break, Saturday Night Prime Time.
Hang on, aren't we going...
Anton Deck, I mean...
Aren't we going back a bit?
Well, no, no, she's literally the paedophile priest being killed. We're going to get to... Oh, shit, yeah, we are, sorry. No, hang on. So, Dietrich admits that V is right. And I'll give the quote, "There is something wrong with this country." We cut to Finch and his assistant, who are basically sort of looking at the St. Mary's attack again. We get more background into this at this point. And it was a biowarfare attack on a school. It spreads to Three Waters, which you assume is a sort of water processing plant, reservoir, and 80,000 people die as a result of this attack. Finch asks his assistant, "What if the worst biological attack in the history of this country wasn't the work of extremists? What if our own government was responsible for the attack on St. Mary's and Three Waters?" Now his assistant says, "Oh, well, they were caught, they were tried, they confessed." No, hang on, because after he's already sinned, people like Mr. Prothero have got massive money in the pharmaceutical companies that made up the antidote for that particular biological attack.
Yeah. It's very convenient.
Yes, it is. But you also get the thing that cuts back to Sutler and his inner council here, and they kind of feel that control is slipping a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, V has certainly had an impact. People don't believe that he's dead.
Right.
And so then we go to Evie and Dietrich back in Dietrich's house.
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, I want you to watch my show with me tonight. We re-recorded this. I threw out the censor-approved script and wrote one of my own."
I love this.
And he basically...
It's Benny Hill,
it's basically...
essentially.
He openly mocks the Chancellor on the TV show. Cue Benny Hill-style hilarity is what I wrote.
Yeah.
The Chancellor's running around being chased by policemen. There's another Chancellor who's being chased by V. V ties his shoelaces together.
A buxom blonde is in there somewhere.
Etc, etc, etc.
If you watched British comedy in the 70s, you would know what that means.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Isn't it amazing though that this is the
let's say 2025, something like that.
But the cornucopia, I think I'm using that word.
Yeah, you're right. It's so British.
Comedy.
It's got to be British.
No, but what I mean is, okay, 70s. Yes, you've got on the one hand Benny Hill, but you also had Monty Python happening at the same time. It's crazy, isn't it? How like, the plethora.
Yeah. In Spain, I think the only comedies they have is Benny Hill and Mr. Bean.
Oh my god, that's a fucking nightmare for me.
There's a lot of Americans. There's a lot of American. Our stand-up comedy.
I like Mr. Bean.
I don't like Mr. Bean.
But
I don't know this
I don't like Benny Hill.
I don't like Benny Hill either, but I don't like Mr. Bean.
No, I don't like Benny. Our stand-up comedy is some of the most sophisticated in the world.
Our comedy show.
But people in America don't know. I was listening to Mark Maron interviewing Stuart Lee, and he was openly saying that, I've had to study and research. It's been a massive learning curve for me.
Who's Stuart Lee? Sorry, I don't...
Comedian.
Lee and Herring. He's a stand-up comedian, but he's very fuck me, he's Marmite, because he doesn't really do jokes or try to be funny. He breaks down the act of stand-up comedy whilst he's doing stand-up comedy.
He's not my favourite.
And sort of,
I will say,
I find him a bit too smug.
Right. Is Herring the one that had the Hitler moustache?
Yeah, he's the funny one.
I like him.
Richard Herring, I fucking love him. Listen to his podcast even if I don't know who the fuck the guest is, I'll still listen because I love Richard's interview style. Emergency question: would you rather have a hand made of ham, or an armpit that dispenses sun cream?
I remember that one.
And people will sit there and try to give an intellectually measured response. They will try and
I was just thinking myself, what would I have?
Yeah.
Wasn't the Stephen Merchant one? Was it that one?
Oh, that one didn't go well. I think that's a famous one where it gets a bit frosty.
I've heard that one.
But yeah, so I'm fucking derailed this big time then.
Yeah. So basically, Dietrich, who's done this, it's been broadcast. This is broadcasting as he's showing Evie. Says, "Oh, don't worry, I'll get a fine. I'll have to do some boring fundraiser. It'll be fine." He's on the phone to his agent. He's, "Oh, you're my agent. Protect me. That's what I pay you for."
Yeah.
Sadly, later that night, Dietrich bursts into Evie's room and says, "Hide." And this is an eerie repetition of what happened to her parents. And he is smacked across the face with a truncheon, black bag on his head. The last thing she sees is she's hiding under the bed, is his face being bundled into a black bag, just like her mother.
Oh, steady, Mike.
Should I come with it? My tea?
Oh, the tea that he killed
Okay,
him.
Mike.
Yeah,
And again, this is another I read online. Direct reference to what was happening in the real world at that time. The black hoods on the head was a very American.
Yeah, in Abu
Guantanamo
Ghraib. And
type
a prisoner of war thing.
Yeah.
They were doing that in the Iraq War. If you were, if the Iraqis they took prisoner, they put black sacks
Now
on
that
them.
wasn't in the comic books.
But
That's
should be
added.
pointed out, even in the Second World War, you would blindfold prisoners of war so they can't see where they're being taken. They can't see.
I get that, but
so if they're recaptured, they can't see what you've got at the back.
But those images weren't plastered all over.
No. Well, they were blindfold is different from a hood on the head, isn't it? I mean, a blindfold is practical. A black hood is slightly sinister, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, America, they can come and do that now in America.
Yeah, they can.
Because of the Patriot Act, isn't it? As long as they call it terrorism, they can just come in and take you. No charges. You're withheld indefinitely.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, it reminds me of, I love it, they call it the Patriot Act. It always reminds me of in Marvel's Civil War, not the movie, the comic book. Oh shit, I forgot the name.
Sokovia Accord.
No, that's in the movies. I'm trying, what the fuck they call it in the comics. But it's essentially like, if you've got powers, you sign up and work for the government, or you're fucking imprisoned. Like, and it's got some fancy name. You know, give it a name that makes it sound, you know, like it's working for you. I mean, the Patriot Act. That sounds perfectly fine, doesn't it? Hey, you know, we love a patriot here in the States.
Yeah.
But my God, that's sinister. And then
HR 666.
But the same can kind
it was,
of happen
yeah, it
here.
was 666. Yeah, you're right.
But the same can happen here, though, isn't it? As long as they accuse me of something terrorist related.
Yeah. They can detain you for up to like 30 days, I think. But in America, it's indefinitely.
Yeah, fuck you know. So, should we get through this scene of Evie and, is it Dietrich? I forgot his name.
Dietrich's been snatched.
Dietrich.
Evie jumps out the window and is then accosted by, and upon rewatching this,
you notice
the gloves on the policeman, and also he's wearing a ski mask, and there's a red around the areas exposed, but the eyes. You sort of, if you were watching this, for the first time, you might not necessarily know that. I watched it many a time, and then they're like,
So she is black hooded.
Black hooded and taken from the scene. She wakes up in a detention centre, let's say. Concrete walls, concrete cells.
Should we put a pin in it there?
Yeah, okay, yes, of course you are, yeah.
Because it's about halfway through the movie. And, it has taken us nearly 3 hours to get halfway through, but that's our style, listener, and that's why you're listening.
But what it is, there's a lot of this that is pertinent to what we've been discussing in the last few weeks, isn't there?
Well, that's why we pick
fake
movies.
News, propaganda, banking
false flag attacks.
False flag attacks.
Well, we tend to pick movies to review that have got something pertinent to what the show usually talks about. So if you want the rest of our V for Vendetta review, and when we say review, what we mean is we'll go through the story, and like we've done today, we'll talk about the themes, the issues, the stuff that comes up. So we've got a lot of good stuff for the second half of the film, and that will be next episode, won't it?
It will.
Join us next week for more discussion. We're going to talk about fascism versus anarchy, or communism versus, what's the other one? Capitalism.
Definitely.
Guy Fawkes, the Occupy movement, I guess, is going to come
symbolism.
up. How it pertains to today with Antifa and the alt-right and all that good stuff. And hopefully some really dark and very inappropriate jokes along the way.
I'll do my best.
As is
I can't. Actually,
well,
by the way,
tossing into a mass grave doesn't count.
I think mine gets the darkest joke for this week.
By the way, last week I forgot to tell you a Diana joke.
Oh God.
I'll tell you this. So basically, Dode is in heaven along with Henri Porn, and he says,
He's Muslim though.
Whatever, it's a fucking joke, Gaz.
Okay,
I told you I wanted to die in the tunnel, not fucking die in the tunnel. Boom.
Jesus Christ. That sounds like something Nigel Farage would say.
That's a Rochery Brown joke.
I think we've hit a new low.
Damn right.
Ben looks so happy, listener. He looks like the proudest I've ever seen him.
That's what I do. I'm the the anchor, let's say.
Fucking one word for it.
But I also corrupt it. That's what I do.
I think you've got a letter out of place there.
Yeah, I'm that too. I don't disagree. I'm the guy that drags you back onto plot. That's what I do. And Mike to an extent. But
Stop me from going on rants against the government.
Yeah. Wait till Mike's manifesto's released. Oh man, that's going to be dark.
It was a joke. Okay. So that was the first half of our V for Vendetta discussion. Let's not call it a review.
No, discussion is a better word. Yeah.
And we'll finish off with one of our favourite features of a bit of Never Go Full Alex.
Were you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain.
The show has got a lot of patron saints, hasn't it? We've got Saint I,
Saint Tony,
Saint Tony, Saint Jones,
Jim Jones or Alex Jones.
both.
Saint Crowley, of course.
Saint Crowley, Saint.
We all know a bit of sex magic.
I honestly owe everything I have, all the happiness in my life right now, to the discovery of sex magic and Mr. Crowley. Thank you.
And remember, listener, that's magic with a K.
Yeah, it is. I'm not going to pull a rose out my fucking sleeve, but I will.
Or his Jap side.
No, that's the second week we've said Jap side. That's a really racially insensitive description of a body part.
I apologise to any Japanese listeners we have. That's just.
But we don't know what else to call it. That's what we grew up calling it.
Look, I'm from Dawley. This is how it works. That's just how it is. That's just the way it is. That's how we are.
To clear it up for anybody who's not from our hometown, we live in a pretty shitty town called Telford.
We do.
One of the suburbs of Telford is called Dawley, and it somehow manages to be even shitter than the town that surrounds it.
Oh yeah.
Ben is from the shittest part of a shit town, and he's so fucking proud of it.
We have our own accent, we have our own dialogue. We're Dawley men, we're strong in the arm and thick in the head. That's how it works.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Where men are men and the animals are worried.
You from Wellington, Gaz?
Technically, I was born in Shrewsbury.
We're all born in Shrewsbury, aren't we?
Well, grew up in I'm a Ketley lad, really. Ketley and Hadley.
Ketley. Do you know they separate the boys and the men in Ketley?
Oh, I predict a really old joke.
With a crowbar.
I don't get it. I meant to get it.
The joke is, Mike, that men and boys like fucking each other so much in Ketley. The only way to get them to stop would be to prise them apart with a crowbar.
Yeah, there you go.
And you know that when you have to explain a joke, it's officially shit.
I blame Mike's middle class schooling for his lack of understanding on that joke.
Your chavvy sort of lifestyle.
I don't wear a shell suit.
You don't have to be a chav. It's more of an attitude, Ben.
No.
It's more of an approach to life.
I'm not a chav.
You know the way you sort of mock me for being happy and like how I'm nice to my girlfriend?
I've given up on that now. It's run its course. You've got the point. I don't need to do it anymore.
Just like my relationship. No, it hasn't. Sorry, darling. I love you.
Oh, the seeds of self-doubt are creeping.
No, they're not.
It's like a sword of Damocles now. Oh, I'm only messing about.
You just wanted to say sword of Damocles.
Too fucking right, it's a great phrase.
It was, I was impressed.
In fact, our third album for Solar Wars has to be called Sword of Damocles.
Laser sword of Damocles?
Lightsaber of Damocles?
Ooh. Nah, it's a copyright.
It's going to be sword on it. It's going to be sword.
It's gonna be,
Sword of Damocles!
You're not a singer in this band, by the way.
I'm aware of that. I'm the drummer. It's alright.
I'm going to establish that.
It's cool.
You're the fucking roadie. Your job is to get as drunk as you normally do and move shit.
I'm the drummer. That's my job anyway. Get as drunk as possible and move shit.
Right. Shall we get into our favourite feature. Well, sorry, I said ours, I meant mine. I like the reggae box too.
Alex.
Never go for Alex.
Never go full Alex.
So who's this then?
This is Rodney Howard Brown. And he says that Hollywood is rife with human sacrifice and cannibalism.
Okay, just before you press play, sorry, we've got to remember, every episode is somebody's first episode.
Yes,
so we've
true.
actually explained the feature. What we like to do here is Mike plays us a clip of some random insanist on the internet and also a clip of Alex Jones, and we are to decide who this week is talking more insanity. Is it Alex or the new guy? So... Sorry, you just said his name's Rodney Howard Brown.
Do we know who he is? Is he a televangelist or...?
I don't know, possibly.
Well, let's hear what he's going to say, Mike.
Well, let's see what he's going to say. I'm sure we'll figure it out.
They've told us to be quiet. They've told us to say nothing and do nothing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I draw a line in the sand. Yeah, Eminem drew a line in the sand the other day.
The rapper.
Looks like he tries to think he's from the hood. Please, give me a break. Some pasty white boy trying to act like he's from the hood. He doesn't even know what the hood looks like. He's made money off the hood.
Oh, you do.
But he's about to get put on a hood. Enough is enough.
There's white people in the
They've
audience.
mocked the body of Christ for too long. An army of men and women is rising up in this hour. God is answering our prayer. He will not be mocked. He's a God that answers by fire. Do not be afraid of the showdown. Don't be afraid of the showdown. Don't be afraid. It's time to mock the false gods of Egypt and their prophets. What are these people? What are these holiday prophets of the enemy? You know, I mock you. And some said, no, we must be nice so we can win them for Jesus. These people are full of the devil. These people can't even be reasoned with. These are not people that you can talk to, and they already have given their soul to the devil. Are you with me? These people go through seances. These people drink blood.
Oh my.
These people sacrifice children. Somebody said they don't do that. They sacrifice children at the highest levels in Hollywood. They drink blood of young kids. This is a fact. That's why the next thing to be exposed will be all the pedophilia that's going to come out of Hollywood and come out of Washington, D.C. The human sacrifice and the cannibalism has been going on for years. Somebody said, oh, they don't do that. It's worse than what you think. You remember when the whole spirit cooking thing came out? That's commonplace, ladies and gentlemen. And many of the Hollywood actors that you go see on a screen, what you don't know, they bring a witch. They do a big seance right there on the set, and they worship devils, and they allow devils to come into them before they take the part of what they're going to act. It's a fact what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Well, I'm going
He's right about the spirit cooking. And he's right about the paedophilia.
I'm guessing there was about, roughly about 400 people in that auditorium there. There's a quick tally of the view.
I've seen this guy on InfoWars before.
Well,
I did a quick tally of the when it panned around to show the crowd. I reckon there was about sort of 50 people in each block and probably about 6 or 7 blocks. So,
well,
there's got a few people there.
first of all, I would like to point out, I am no expert, but although Eminem is maybe not from the, quote, hood, he is from incredibly less than working. He's from fucking poverty.
Yeah, he is,
fucking...
Unlike that guy, a South African,
yeah.
white South African.
Jesus.
He was
Obviously came over when the apartheid ended, I imagine.
Preaching in a mega church, what it looked like to me, one of those big
He got about
structures.
400 people there,
Right.
yeah.
And what I find fucking wonderfully, darkly hilarious is that while he's sermoning, I don't think that's a word, but, you know, while he's sermonising, I don't think that's a word either, but along the bottom of the fucking screen is the basically call in and pay now fucking number, give us your fucking money, like...
And like
Now,
the church has never been embroiled in paedophilia before.
Exactly.
No, of course it hasn't. No,
I agree with you, Mike. I think, yes, and a lot of it's coming out now, isn't it? There probably is a lot, you know, Hollywood probably is rife with pedophilia. There might even be some child sacrifice. I don't know, it's come up
Who
before.
knows?
Satanism. But I just think it's fucking ironic for a guy who claims to represent, like, well, he doesn't claim to represent, he does represent the most paedophilic organisation in the fucking known universe.
Yeah.
Apart from the lizards, the interdimensional.
Cool. Well, he's probably one of them, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair. So what was his point? What, stop watching Hollywood films? I
don't know what his point
Cannibalism, though.
Cannibalism?
Eating babies on the set. I mean, they often talk about how good the catering is in Hollywood movies. But,
I don't think when they ask for a baby, they give it me, though.
No. And
I want some baby hors d'oeuvres, please.
And summoning up a demon before they play the part. So you're telling me that Keanu Reeves, before playing the part of, was it Bill or Ted? One of them.
Ted.
You know, please, Satan, give me the powers I need to portray this slacker stoner. Whoa,
Yeah.
I totally nailed the part, man. Thanks to Satan.
He did a ritual, ate a baby, and then
He needed to eat a baby and summon a demon to play a fucking slacker. Do you know what I mean? I mean, maybe Anthony Hopkins in the Silence of the Lambs, I could see maybe he needed to summon some demons. Maybe Heath Ledger, the Joker,
No.
maybe that's why he's dead. But I'm sorry, comedy films.
Hopkins didn't need the devil to do that role.
He's
He
Welsh.
was the devil in that role.
So,
that's in my top 5. Silence of the Lambs. Easy.
Yeah, great
Easy.
film. I've even read the book. That's
I've
one
read
of
the
the few times where I've read the actual book as well.
Yeah,
So,
he's more even in the book.
Well,
the
let's
film
break-
gives him no portrayal.
Yeah, let's break down what this guy. So what this guy is saying is Hollywood. They summon demons, accept demons into themselves, drink the blood of children, and eat the flesh of children in order to play a role. Okay.
Ironically, a white supremacist South African preaching to an audience of mainly black people. That's weird, isn't it?
It's the American dream.
Yeah. I don't mean that to sound racist anyway, but it just seems slightly odd.
Well, what's Alex saying?
What's Alex saying? Yeah.
Alex Jones claims the BBC is a giant paedophile cult.
Well, let's face it, Jimmy Savile.
He has a point.
He's got a point in this, so
We'll see how far he takes
let's
it.
see how far he takes it. Okay.
They're always like, we're going to kill you. We're going to shut you up. We're like, we get that. Okay, we're here to stop you so all these innocents don't get run over. It's an instinct. It's a spirit. It's not like trying to be a hero. You can't roll over when you see him kidnapping little girls like he did in his town. He owned a tanning bed company, was making money, middle class, and I had a big, nice house. I know Robin's story. I remember seeing demonization about him 10 years ago and halfway believing it my own self. They took his house. They put him in prison. They tried to kill him. Now he's stronger than ever. So he's not doing this for his own self. He's doing it because in the town he was in, it turned out 4,000 little girls were groomed for sex. Many of them kidnapped, many of them killed, many of them disappeared. This is an evil British pedophile government allied with Islam because under its tenets of radical Islam, it follows pedophilia. Everybody knows about the giant scandals of pedophilia in England. The secret dungeons, the torture, the murder of little kids, Prime Minister slit little girls' throats. All that's coming out.
Is it?
The BBC is basically a giant pedophile cult.
Heath.
So, London Telegraph, pedophile cult runs UK. Cannot be released, will destroy national security. That's a headline. That's top police saying we're run by pedophiles who are devil worshippers. You cannot make that up. What are harems? They're slave pits of women. Yeah, and Muhammad had sex with a 9-year-old. So Turkey's legalizing sex with 9-year-olds right now. You cannot make this up. So I'm going to donate $20,000 we don't have because we did last year. We brought in even more capital than we did the election year. We thought that was crazy. But because we sold stuff at such low prices, we brought in less money aggregate.
And there we go, it's the business speak.
I was just
Give me
about
some
to
money.
say to you, that
Give me
is the
some money.
perfect slice of Alex Jones because he's twisted some truth in some headlines that have been out there, blowing it up, and then seamlessly links into his fucking sales pitch though. Then it's all about the business element.
Yes, you can buy my anti-pedophile devices and my bulletproof vests and my zinc tablets that may give you aluminium poisoning.
It
but it
starts
won't matter.
off like, there is a paedophile
Yeah,
scandal.
because up to a point, I was like, shit me.
Yeah.
You're the guy's the winner here because
But then
Alex is talking sense.
But then when he says allied with Islam,
Then you go, oh, right, okay.
I mean, we're bombing Muslim countries. If we're allied to Islam, why would we be bombing Muslim
And the
countries?
BBC, has he ever listened to Radio 4? Good afternoon, welcome to Radio 4. Allah Akbar. Here is the shipping forecast.
He's
On the Archers. Bring me the body of a 9-year-old girl.
Mohammed craves the body of an 8-year-old. You know what I mean? For fuck's sake. That's not the Archers. That is definitely. But we know the weird thing is, we all joined in on the Archers.
Well, yeah. I think it should be our fucking national anthem. Before a football game.
Have you ever listened to the Archers?
I used to actually listen.
I have listened to it. It's bollocks.
It's the most upper middle class thing, or lower upper class. Somewhere in there, it is. Yeah. Oh my god! It's about a village, about the ins and outs of running a farm.
That's it.
See, I watched Midsummer Murders and assumed that was the Archers, but slightly more murderized.
Oh, no. It is the poshest soap, and then they'll have like one or two characters with regional accents, you know, who've got to the village through marriage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, or maybe
new money.
They're employed, you know, on the farm.
Yeah.
You know,
my ex's father never missed it. So whenever we were in the van with him or in the car, he'd have Radio 4 on Archers.
Wow.
I do like Radio 4. I find it soothing and sometimes quite intellectually stimulating, if one may be so bold.
You be so bold, sir. I'll cross my leg in a sophisticated way and listen to what you have to say.
I've always loved
Gently
talk
cradle
radio.
my knee.
I've always loved talk radio, and I find Radio 4 very good, but then you've got to take the rough with the smooth, because like I say, then the Archers will come on. Yeah, they have good comedy, but then the Archers will come on, and I always find it interesting. Oh no, actually that's on Radio 2. Thought for the Day, where...
Can I just say that we're talking about Radio
Yes,
fucking 4,
we are.
the Archers, and Radio 2.
Yes, well,
we're hard cutting.
We're
cutting the bull in the post-apocalypse.
Well,
and we're
Ben,
talking about Radio 2.
Ben and I, Mike and I, are a little more, shall we say, middle class.
I'm not a chap.
A little more intellectually curious than our co-host Ben.
I'm just going to say that I'm not a chap.
Anyone who doesn't know what chav means, it means council house.
To be fair,
and vulgar.
I do live in a council house.
And you are vulgar.
I am quite vulgar.
He's a chav and he knows he is.
Even so, I'm going to take pride in my chav.
And haven't you got one of them danger dogs, one of them status dogs?
I have.
With a fucking saddle on the back.
He's not got a saddle, it's his tactical harness.
Charge!
It's a tactical harness, and he is a mast-whiler.
Do you train to bite brown people?
No, I do not train him to bite brown people. He does not bite anybody. He is an 11-month-old, slightly horse-like dog that has a tactical saddle.
Do not film yourself on YouTube teaching him to zig heil, or you will actually go to prison. Like that quote comedian.
Well, when England got the World Cup, I support Germany because of the dog.
Right. So hang on, we didn't finish the game. Who's chatting more insane this week?
Alex. Yeah.
Well, I suppose saying that the BBC is Islamist is a bit mental.
Yeah.
There's an element of truth to what they both said.
Don't get me wrong, the other chap was, you know, very evangelical.
Yeah. But I think Alex gets it this week. I think he gets it because he did some quintessential Alex there, where he went straight into his sales pitch at the end of it. Like, fucking hell, that just sums his whole channel up.
Yeah.
So, my money's on Alex this week.
I'm with Alex.
Alex wins them.
Yeah, well, should we wrap this up? And you can join us next week for part 2 of our V for Vendetta discussion.
And assorted things where I point out that I'm not a chap.
It would help if you weren't wearing that fucking Adidas tracksuit, Ben.
I'm not wearing... I am not wearing an Adidas tracksuit.
I'm not in tracksuit bottoms.
Exactly. The science officer. The science officer.
But they help you think. Bottoms. You got to be comfortable to think.
I'm in jeans and a t-shirt. A Last Podcast on the Left t-shirt.
Hey! I love that show.
Right,
let's wrap this son of a bitch up.
Right, so V for Vendetta. We'll carry it on next time.
We will.
A lot of stuff pertinent to where we are now, as you've established, where the fact it's taken us so fucking long to get through
It's very
half a
interesting.
film. Exactly.
There's a lot to discuss.
And, you know, stuff next week we're going to come up with and go, well, you know what? Maybe that is happening right now.
Yes.
Is the Tory party just that unimaginable?
We're going to tell you why the movie is more pertinent today than it was in its year of release.
Exactly. Very much so.
So like our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Indeed, and it is Code of the Born, the Poster of the Apocalypse, of course. Twitter is Apocalypse Born.
Yeah.
YouTube as well, and Podbean, SoundCloud.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to this, you already know where to find us. But tell all your friends we're available anywhere you can get podcasts, basically. We're on all the big boys.
And of course, iTunes now as well.
iTunes, Spotify. Subscribe,
Yeah, we have
rating,
iTunes.
leave a rating, and
Leave a nice rating or Gaz. Well,
I'll send you a very eloquent insult.
I'll leave it to you to explain what you're going to do.
And then block you before you can respond. That's my right. Fuck you. No, not fuck you.
Vendetta is all about censorship.
Yeah! Fight the power!
So I've been Ben, and I'm going to say, don't join the cult and don't drink the flavour aid.
Fuck you, that's a dig at me every time you say it.
I don't want anyone to join a cult, don't drink the flavour aid. It's all about not believing what you're told. It's a metaphor. Metaphor!
Stop fucking with my business plan.
Alright, don't drink the flavour aid. How's that?
There you go, I like it. I've been Gaz, free Biff Tannen.
Here comes the cult promo.
I know! I was waiting, but I literally didn't do it this week. Jesus, we can't even sign off. It takes us 10 minutes to say goodbye.
Let's do this professionally.
Right, okay.
I've been Ben. Don't drink the flavour aid. Gaz?
Shit. I stumbled over it. I've been Gaz, free Biff Tannen.
I've been Mike. Peace out.
Hey!
Stay classy.
Yeah! Kick in the riffs.